And you got your feet up, you're lounging. That is a recipe for napping. I don't even know.
You just do the podcast. I'll take a nap.
I mean, I don't think I could do this one. I can't do this one-sided. I need you for this. This only works with the two of us.
Yes. What was that?
That is a notification from my computer. You haven't hit record yet, have you? Because you should have.
Definitely have not hit record.
You motherfucker. You never learn.
Definitely have not hit it.
The preamble is where we fucking shine. You know that, right? That's how we kind of work our way into it. It's like acting exercises. You know, you got to breathe and you got to hum. No,
you know, I worry about like too much preamble early on because we got to get to the intro so that people who are just like everybody who's like already listening to this knows who we are. You know what I mean? But the people who are like, man, that looks pretty good. I'll click on that. And then they just tune in.
They are so surprised.
They just tune in and they're like, what the fuck am I listening to?
Is this a white guy and a black guy like sharing thoughts, or is this just a series of weirdness?
That white guy sounds so sexy.
Of course he does.
My baby's in the backseat, reading a magazine. I'm in the front seat, picking up a dirty stain.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the dark side. Something dark side. A little dab will do you, Lawrence. A little dab will do you. Ooh, that's delicious.
Well.
That is delicious.
Well,
mother fathers.
Should we just jump back and do an old thing we did? What are we listening to? Would you like to bring us in?
You know what? I will try the intro this week.
You try the intro. See how it goes. Let's see how easy it is for you.
Let's see how it is.
Shh. Here he goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekly podcast of two dapper... No, I lost it already.
Diaper?
I was trying to say dapper. Jesus.
Dapper. Two diaper-wearing
assholes. No, fix it in post.
Fix it. I'll just cut that. I'll edit in somebody being like, it's like that moment from No Country for Old... No. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Dapper Dan. There you go.
Dapper Dan.
I'll edit that in. George Clooney saying dapper.
This
Where's
is what we're into. Week 22. I'm your boy.
What are we into?
Robert Karma Robinson.
Lawrence Dial.
My amazing co-host who just got off of working, what was it, 8-hour shift?
At least 14 is what it feels like.
Wow.
It's 8 hours of waiting tables.
Wow.
So that's at least 14 hours
of actual time.
God, I had a woman today, and I was thinking about it. And
stories from the trenches.
And I'm not going to be able to articulate this well, but every time I said anything to her as a waiter, she basically was like, her response was in a way like I was bothering her.
Really?
Yeah. And
like,
so like,
hey, welcome to supper. I'm your
host. So I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, all right. Can I get you guys something to drink? Yeah.
You just want to screw her head off.
Even when I'm helping her out, she's like, so what should I get? Should I get this or should I get that? I'm like, you should definitely get this spaghetti limone. She's like, yeah, all right. Like every moment, every time I opened her mouth, it was like I was bothering her in a way.
Was she by herself or was she...
And I'm sure she was with two other people, and I'm sure she's probably a pretty nice person, and also probably talked to them the exact same way. She's just one of those people, you know what I mean? So I
don't know what you mean, because that, like, I guess I've long given up serving, so I'm not that level of humanity isn't shoved in my face constantly. I sort of get to pick and choose my battles in that way, because I feel like I'd have to address that immediately. I'm like, did I do something to you? Am I making you a certain way? Because your responses to me seem out of pocket.
You can't though, because then they'll be like, what are you talking about? You're weird. Like, it gets turned back on you so quick and so easily. Like, you just can't say any of that. Yeah, well, so this week we are recording at Rob.
Yeah, we are off. We are in our satellite studio.
Karma Robinson's
the satellite
man
studio. We're
cave.
normally not. This is a night session too, because we record in the mornings. But it's been a hellacious week, man. I've been doing straight 12s since Tuesday.
Yeah. This is real Brooklyn, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, turn your mic just slightly so you're not popping into it. I can't fix. You know what I mean? Because like when you go like this and it's like it does the poppity thing.
Are you just mad because my plosives are so immaculate?
I'm just saying when you speak directly into a mic, your P's will all pop.
That's what the pop screen's for. This little fuzzy.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work that well though because they're cheap. These are cheap mics.
All right, fine.
Anyway,
fine,
sorry.
fine.
Forget it.
Fine.
I
fix it in post.
I already ruined it. I was like, I will not. It's like, by the way, it's like 90 degrees in here. It's
Is it
so
hot?
It's hot as hell.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's like Jamaica in here.
Africa would have been more applicable, but we'll go
No,
with
because
that.
Jamaica segue into Daniel Craig hurting himself on the Bond set.
Oh, word? You'll
Yes.
be jumping in the news?
Let's jump into news, babe.
It's Channel 4 News at 6 o'clock.
It's like 12:30. It's actually not that late. I thought it was later than that, but
Yeah.
it is pretty late.
You made good time getting here.
Yeah. Normally we record 11 a.m., 12 lunchtime, around that time.
This is the complete opposite. We're recording. Everything about this recording session is going to be opposite. Location, everything.
Yeah.
Time of day. It's a weird one. We're both exhausted from the week.
We're actually
Just
laying down on the bed
physically.
facing each other. Two mics are like aimed right at us. Give me the sheets.
It's gonna be an amazing session.
Yeah.
22nd one, man.
Yeah, 22nd, number 22. Do you think we'll get to a point where we stop counting? Like we just do it?
I'd like to hope so. I'd like to hope that by the time we stop counting, we're in an actual studio.
Yes.
Where we won't have discussions about pop screens and
No,
and
that's the best part about this podcast.
We'll have like an audio tech to be like, no, I got that, guys. You guys just do your thing, man. I'm gonna handle this for you guys. And
Our
like,
listeners,
"Nice. Thank you, Arnie, or whatever the fuck his name is.
They are on a journey with us, Rob.
I like Journeys. Both the band and
the shoe
actual.
store.
I worked at Journeys.
Me too. Did you really?
I did.
How did I know this?
I don't know, man. I definitely was a Journeys employee.
Oh my God.
My manager tried to get me to. It was the summer that I went home after freshman year.
Really?
I worked there, and my manager tried to get me to quit. and become a manager, like higher up at the Journeys Corporation.
Yeah, you would have fit in perfectly at Journey.
Yeah, right. No,
My manager used to smoke meth in the bathroom at the mall.
it's Indiana.
It's Indiana. He was my boss. When your boss comes out of the bathroom, like, listen.
Yo, what's that like
is
as an
gonna be-
employee? You're like,
this is gonna be
you're like,
great.
he's been in there a long time. Should we? No, we shouldn't. Like, was it just a known thing, or did he?
You could smell it.
So,
Yeah, it
So
was
you
pretty-
actually know what burning meth smells like? Because I don't. I have no idea what it smells like.
Yeah, I do. I'm from Indiana. I know what meth smells like. I'm so Indiana
Oh my god.
that I know meth before it even became meth. Most people think like meth. They think like what is it? Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, take Heisenberg, that blue,
Exactly.
That blue,
That
like
blue
it
thing.
looks cute, and you might want to try it.
I knew meth before they even called it meth. You know what I mean? Not that I did it. I
had
didn't
like
do it.
No, but like I remember Evansville being like really like that was the
sketch.
drug of choice almost.
Yeah.
Like we
Because
had neighbors who were meth heads,
Yeah.
and
Because we know about meth, it's anhydrous and
it's easy to make.
and it comes from farms, and there's
Right.
lots of farms right in Indiana.
right.
But they used to call it glass.
Yeah,
back-
I mean that was the other name for
Yeah.
it. Like it has so many other names though.
yeah.
yeah.
I was offered it numerous times.
Where and you were like,
Yeah.
nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, so I'm all right, guys.
Just little Larry being like, I choose. I
Pretty
say
much,
no.
pretty much to this day, like a little bit of wine, some weed.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my jam.
That's pretty much all you really kind of need.
Like I know what my lane is. I stay in my lane. It's not.
Although this past weekend I was hanging out with some other friends and we doing some other some drugs I hadn't done in a while.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like
you want to speak on that?
maybe not directly to the microphone.
You have got little nieces, godchildren to think of, Rob. One day they're going to listen to this.
Look, and one day they will know that Godfather Rob was a human being. He had flaws. He did some stuff that he may have not been proud of, but felt really good at the time.
Yes.
So
you know what didn't feel good was Daniel Craig
hurting himself. I heard that.
hurting
segue.
his ankle. Yeah.
Wait. Let's jump back in.
Yeah. The reason we bring that up, and there was some other tangent I wanted to go off on, but forget it. This is news.
Like you said, the journey. People who've been with us on the
Journeys.
know
I
that.
want to talk about journeys more. Oh my god. I had so many shoes. I had so many shoes.
All right, we'll talk about it later. We'll get into it later. But Daniel Craig.
Wait, just answer this question. Did you steal shoes from Journeys when you were
I never
there?
actually stole shoes from it because the discount that I had there was so good. Like it was never necessary to do it. I would just pay for my shoes because I don't know. I never stole. What I did steal was accessories. Shit ton of accessories.
Sure.
Shoe cleaners, shoelaces, socks, like anything that had to do with putting your feet in shoes. I stole. But I actually paid for all my shoes.
If you were a Journeys employee, this is how you steal shoes from Journeys. You take a bunch of shoes that you like that are in your size or your girlfriend's size. You throw them into the trash.
Wait, for real?
Then you volunteer to take the trash out.
And then you go to your car.
And you go to your car.
I figured it out.
Or you leave it in a space that's near the trash can. So after everybody leaves and goes home at night, you put that trash bag into your trunk. It may look like you're stealing trash from the mall, but guess what? Nobody cares. And your manager who smokes meth in the bathroom, he also doesn't care. He just can't catch you directly.
So let me get it straight. I get the finger wag for possibly doing some illicit drugs later, but you're talking about ripping off a corporation, and that's not going to come up. The girls are going to listen to this later and be like, "But Daddy was a."
I didn't say I did it. I said that's how you do it.
All right, you got me.
I hope if my children work for Journeys, that they can get away with stealing some shoes. If not, I've failed as a parent.
I hope so too, because they used to have some really great shoes come through there.
If Daniel Craig was wearing the right shoes,
he wouldn't have hurt himself.
He would not have hurt himself.
Also, he's an old man.
Also, I've done like 3 segues into this. They've all been pretty good. I won't. Not all my segues.
I'd say a third of them were pretty good.
1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
33.3%. Yeah, so he twisted his ankle. The only reason we're bringing it up is because our buddy Rami Malek is going to go down to Jamaica and film as the bad guy, the villain for this. But Daniel Craig has kind of a history of hurting himself. Yeah.
Well, maybe he's just not built for this kind of role.
Oh, he's built. Yeah, so Casino Royale, he hurt himself. He basically, he was in a fight scene and somehow, like, hit his teeth and knocked out his front teeth.
Wow.
And they had to have a dentist fly in from London to treat his teeth and replace them.
The dude knocked out his own teeth.
I don't know if his front teeth. My brother did that too.
Bo knocked out his teeth?
Yeah, Bo. So Bo was like, like when you get a nail stuck in the floor, he's doing something. I don't know, construction.
Is this recent?
No, this is decade ago.
Okay, because shout out to that boy Bo. I saw his deck that he built. That's just badass.
Yeah. So basically, he's like building a deck. I don't know what he was doing. He's doing something, building a deck. A nail gets stuck. He takes the hammer
and pulls the hammer into his own face.
It pulls it into his own face.
Simple Bo.
That's someone I'm related to. That's where my genes come from.
Simple Bo.
It's simple. Is that from like Tropic Thunder?
No, Simple Jack.
Simple Jack. Yes. Simple Bo.
You never go full retard, man.
Never go full retard, Bo. Daniel Craig hurt himself on Quantum of Solace. He had 2 injuries, I think. He was 40 around the time. Yeah. And he hurt his right arm, I think, during the promotional tour of Quantum of Solace.
So he wasn't even shooting the shit? Man, get out of here. That don't count.
I'm trying to read this as I go.
He probably fell down on the job and they couldn't consider that. That's crazy.
And then he hurt himself in Spectre as well. So every Bond film he's hurt himself. So this sounds like he's pretty much
every one of those Bond films have done really well. So maybe this is just par for the course. Maybe he hurts himself. These films end up being amazing, and that's just how his process is.
Yes. Well, actually, it doesn't say that he hurt himself on Skyfall.
Oh, maybe that's why Skyfall didn't do so.
Should he have quit after? I mean,
no. I think he's been. I think the if they call you to do Bond, you do it. You do it. No, how many times they call you? I think it. Well, I say that with caveats because I think Pierce Brosnan played Bond way too long. That just may be me.
How many movies was Pierce Brosnan in for Bond?
What was it? The World Is Not Enough. What's the one he did with?
So he did at least 2.
I'd say at least 3 or 4. Because
there's the one with Halle Berry. He wore out his welcome.
There's the one with Halle Berry. There's the one with Michelle Yeoh. I'm basing this off of the female counterparts.
And which one was GoldenEye?
GoldenEye was the one.
So that's 3.
That's 3.
Yeah, his last one was the one that killed the Bond franchise for
You
like
think so?
10 years. Yeah, it
What was the last one?
It was the one where I don't even remember the name, but something
was
about
the stunt?
tomorrow. It was the one where he was like riding a surfboard attached to a parachute.
Yes,
down
in front of
down the, really
it
bad
was
CGI
bad.
down the side
It was-
of like a humongous wave.
That's the one with Halle Berry.
Yes.
That was the last one.
Yeah, and there was like an ice castle. There
Yeah,
was like an
yeah.
invisible car.
Yeah.
It's like they
it
just,
was
it's like
gnarly.
they were like,
It was
we don't
gnarly.
remember how to make James Bond movies anymore. So here you go.
You know, I think for me it was interesting because it had shades of like the old Bond films where they had like the supervillain with this really crazy weapon. Because basically the weapon was like this guy was using a giant mirror to reflect sunlight like a magnifying glass to specific points on the Earth.
Right.
So,
as you do.
As you do in the super villainy kind of way. It had shades of that old Bond, but it was so cartoony and I don't know. Like the villain was basically a Korean guy who had faked his own death and then changed himself into a white man so that he could.
What?
Yeah, it was weird.
Who would want to do that?
Weird. It was weird. I was like, I don't. What?
Huh?
Yeah, he was like a North Korean general's son who goes over the like a precipice in a tank at the beginning of the movie, and you think he's dead, but then shows up later as the villain, but he's a white man now.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't? That's the whole premise. And then like he
Yeah.
shows up at the end, and he goes to his dad, and he's like, "Father, blah
Dad,
blah blah blah. Look
I'm
at
a
this.
white
We're
man
gonna
now."
cut a swath through the demilitarized zone to South Korea." And his dad's like, "You're not my son." And then he electrocutes him and throws him out of a plane. You don't remember this?
No.
It's absurd.
You know what's bad is that like there's a lot of movies I watched in college and I was kind of uppity about them and I was like, this is not good enough.
Really? Like
this
what?
is not up to John Cassavetes level of blah, 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 blah. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But I've recently gone back and my standards have dropped.
You're like,
I'm older now. I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
You're like, Army of Darkness. Not so bad.
I love Army. What are you talking about?
I'm kidding.
Army of
I know you-
Darkness.
it's
Why
fucking
did you bring
awesome.
that up?
No, because let's talk about segues. That your boy, what's his name, Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, yeah.
He's saying that you're getting, I think it's a evil Ash vs. the Evil Dead like PlayStation experience. That's like a VR coming.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the article right now.
I can't believe neither one of us has PlayStation VR. That's a bit
I think we talked
ridiculous.
about it. I think it's just not up to paying that kind of fee right now for a headset that only like there's not enough really good options for it right now.
But it would be fun to try. You've got a great
definitely
setup
fun.
here that you could do it.
I know.
You've got kind of
that's
the
how I
perfect-
built it. I
yeah.
built it in that way. So
for VR,
it's-
just in case.
Well, just in case.
And heroin when you die.
Well, definitely heroin.
Or deceived to death.
Well, I'm not gonna do heroin to death. I'm gonna do heroin like I do, orange juice.
So it's not. How do you do orange juice?
Like in a glass.
Just a little every morning?
Just a little every morning.
You wake up
Like
early.
a little splash to hit your face in
Your
the
body's
morning.
like, hey, it's time for heroin. Wake up.
Yeah, there might be an alarm setting. You don't know. You don't know my life. And besides, that's the future, bro. Let's not.
It is.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we might be underwater. We
were
might be on fire like that car. You want to be?
Oh
like
my
that
god!
car
So listen, on the
way
way here to Rob's place, and he's in real Brooklyn. I live in like white gentrified.
It's not
used
real
to be
Brooklyn
Italian.
anymore. It is now white gentrified Brooklyn. I got a fucking coffee shop on the corner now, bro. What are
It's
you
a lot
talking
less
about?
gentrified than my place, though.
Fastest
Carol
growing
Gardens
neighborhood
has
in Brooklyn.
There's a store. I don't even know what the brand is, but there's a store that you walk by, and they sell those glasses that you can access like the internet through.
What?
And it's like this big open store.
I don't even know what that means. What glasses? You mean Google Glass?
Kind of, but it's like its own brand.
So it's like VR.
Like not VR, but it's like you can like access like your email and like do like
Through
phone
the
shit.
eyeglasses?
Yeah.
Like a Bond movie.
Yes, like a Bond movie.
You've tried these?
No, because the store is freaky. It's like this big glass container that kind of looks like the
You mean
Apple
like the
store.
Apple store?
Kind of, but not.
But you have a Mac. You're sitting there with a fucking Mac.
And there's like 4 different employees all just sitting there bored.
So you've been by it a number of times. You've scoped the place.
Oh yeah.
But you haven't
It's on the way to
gone
Trader
in.
Joe's, so I pass it all the time when I'm going to get my groceries.
How have you not gone
And
in
you
this
look
place?
in there, and because it looks like intimidating. It does not look like fun. It looks like it should be set up. They got it all wrong because it should be set up like, come in and try these amazing glasses. They'll change your life. Instead, it looks like, come in and we will judge you, and you will not have enough money to pay for these glasses. And there's 4 people standing around, and everybody's going to jump on you at once.
Hey guys, I've got my Focals by North on. I think the world's most fashionable smart glasses. Alexa, tell me a joke.
Why did the cat cross the road?
See the date, Monday, December 3rd. Nice, large, bright, right in the center of my eye. Now I'm getting verbal directions. I see. Very intuitive ring controller here. Again, nice and discreet. Gets my text messages, all the information I want up in my display. Cognitively aware. There when I want it and gone when I'm not. I think these are going to be a game changer.
Yo, the next time we're in the hood, we're going. Fuck, we're going.
We should go. We should take the kids.
I can't believe you. Because I haven't even heard of this.
Let's go and pretend to be married. We're a couple, or not married, whatever. But we're a couple, and these are our children.
We're gonna take the girls. All
we're
right.
super super rich, and our children have to try on these glasses.
I'm going
there.
I'm going in there as hood as possible. I might break out my 40-inch wide legs.
I know, but you're still rich. You're super rich because you got all the money from the hood.
I don't think those two things are synonymous in any form or fashion.
There's got to be one
Hood
person
rich?
who's like super rich in the hood. I'm trying
he's
not
a
to say
dealer.
drug dealer.
He's a drug dealer. I'll say it. He's a fucking drug dealer.
Stop making me racist.
It's not making racist. Those are facts.
I got really bad news. You were talking about something, and we segued because it's 1 a.m. But I got really bad news here.
What's that?
Grumpy Cat.
Yeah, I heard.
Died.
I heard. Yeah, that's
7
not
years
really
old.
bad news. I mean, that's
terrible news.
How's that terrible news?
Because that cat changed people's lives, man.
Did he?
Yes, he made people happy. People would be sad, and then a meme of Grumpy Cat would come on.
Not true.
And they would laugh.
Honestly, I didn't even know that cat existed for the better part of his life. I was like, I thought that was something that somebody created in like Photoshop. I did not actually think that was a cat that existed.
It was a real cat. And he
died. Come to find out later that he did.
He died from complications from a urinary tract infection.
As you do.
When
you're a fat, overweight cat.
You know what his real name was? Tartar Sauce.
Perfect.
It's a perfect name.
Absolutely perfect.
Sad. He was an internet celebrity.
Wow, wait. Are you actually emotional over this?
A little bit.
Wow, bruh.
The family was able to capitalize on the cat's
of course they were.
internet fame.
Of course they
made
were.
millions.
So I don't
off a Grumpy Cat.
You know what? If they don't bury that cat with full regards and honors, like Scottish funeral bagpipes and the like, if they don't do that, then they were just terrible, terrible humans.
He or she. What is tartar sauce? It's gender neutral. We don't need to know.
But his owner was a she.
Yes, exactly. And there was a movie called Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever. Mm-hmm. It was in like parentheticals. Why is What We Into not reviewed this movie yet?
Was that in the parentheticals?
Yeah, it's there.
You know what? Maybe I should take these contacts.
You should do your research.
For anyone that loves Christmas stories about
Here we go.
goodwill,
I don't care.
joy,
No.
and peace to all,
Fail.
then
You are a loser.
Are you serious?
Of course I'm serious. Look at my face.
this Christmas,
You were talking to me.
What are you, some kind of blonde witch?
I heard all of that.
Stop it.
You stop it.
You stop it, witch.
when it comes to the holiday spirit,
Don't get sappy on me. Wait, I forgot. It's a Lifetime movie.
all pets are off.
Dude, grab that cat.
Puppy, no!
Guys, guys! They don't even make paintball guns for cats.
Get out of here, British grumpy cat.
Aubrey Plaza brings the internet sensation to life.
This is the best Christmas ever.
Go ahead, ignore the title of my movie.
Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
Jingle bells, Christmas smells.
Saturday, November 29th.
So she was a Red
on Lifetime.
Lobster employee. Tabitha is her first name. She worked at Red Lobster.
Wow.
Before
hitting the $1 million
her
from the cat life.
brother or somebody took a picture of the cat and put it online and went viral. And she made millions off this cat.
Can't even be mad. That's called a come up.
Their official statement is, despite care from top professionals as well as from her very loving family, Grumpy encountered complications from a recent urinary tract infection that unfortunately became too tough for her to overcome.
Oh, so it was a she.
It's an official statement on Twitter. Oh yeah, shit, now we know. Audrey Plaza was in Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever.
Was she?
Yeah.
I fucking love Aubrey Plaza.
Me too, man. Love her.
I love her.
You know what else I love?
What do you love? I love Unity.
I love you.
Oh,
Unity.
nice, man.
Unity for what?
Unity because
UNITY.
Sony and Microsoft are joining forces.
Say that again because I was singing Queen Latifah.
Yeah, I know you were thinking.
I'll cut that out. Don't worry.
Yeah, fix it in post.
UNITY.
That's not
Unity.
Unity. Sony and Microsoft are joining forces to battle video game market. Like with the announcement of the Stadia, with the announcement of all these other companies jumping into the video game forum.
Really?
Yeah, like they announced it a couple hours ago, maybe like 14, maybe half a day ago. Sony and Microsoft are going to join forces to like produce video game.
Way. They're basically the same console, anyways. Let's be honest.
Well,
the only difference is one gets some games, the other gets some other games.
Well, I think one gets better games than the other one.
The one that we have, of course, that's why we bought it. But which is PS4.
But check it out. This article, it's actually from the website Financial Times. Starts by telling us that for 2 decades, these two giants have dominated the video game, $135 billion industry. By the way, what? $135.
Well, let me just wrap my mind around that money. So
2 companies really
5 0 0 0.
Yeah, think about
comma 0 0 0 comma 0 0. Is there 3 more zeros after that? I've lost track. There were so many zeros.
Mad money.
Mad money.
So they said the tentative alliance between Sony and Microsoft, who said on Thursday that they would jointly explore future, and this is in quotations, cloud solutions and collaborate on games and other content streaming.
Together.
Right.
Okay.
So the partnership would see the 2 companies providing a unified platform on which games developers could simultaneously produce games for both Sony and Microsoft system, giving the companies potentially the edge on this new, oncoming onslaught of companies being like, yo, we gonna do video games too. Because I think Apple just announced Apple Arcade or something for your iPhone.
Not good enough.
Probably not, but like a lot of people play games on their phones. Like more people, I think... People like to say, I'm not a gamer, but I think everybody is a gamer in some shape, form, or fashion.
Most people do have some game on their phone. I'm sure my mom does.
Exactly.
I don't know if I bet my dad does not have a single game on his phone.
You think so?
Probably not.
Hey, Pop, if you're listening, confirm or disconfirm what this motherfucker's talking about.
He called me today. You know what he's doing instead of playing? This is what my dad, he's retired now. Instead of playing video games, he's going golfing.
Goddamn right he is.
And they bring their own Bloody Mary mix.
You know how gangster that sounds?
So gangster.
Holy shit, Pops. Yo, I want to retire with like that. Yes.
So he was all, yeah. So
now imagine doing that, but like having a little bit of heroin before you get in the golf cart. You know what I'm saying?
Well, basically, after the first 3 holes, he was like, God, my game sucks. Give me another Bloody Mary. He just decided to get tanked. That's
that sounds
what
like
you do.
Hashtag best life. Living your best life right
And before I forget, happy birthday to Uncle Doug. Happy birthday to Uncle Bill.
Uncle Doug,
you
happy
guys
birthday.
Don't listen to this podcast because...
What? No, listen to this podcast.
No. Well, Doug might. Bill's pretty conservative, and we're mildly liberal on this podcast.
And that's why he should totally listen to us. Be like, hey, look, listen to these motherfuckers. This is hilarious, right? Now, this is the reason why we need this shit.
We'll take some conservative comments.
Oh, I will definitely. I would love to sit down and talk to them. We'll read all
those things.
I would love to sit down and talk to them.
We're in the echo chamber right now.
I know. Like, everybody we know believes the way we believe. We're like, this shit is crazy, right? Hell yeah, this shit is crazy. Now pass me my kombucha, motherfucker.
So poor Grumpy Cat is dead.
Although, for the record, I don't drink kombucha. That shit
Neither
is
do
gross.
I. It tastes like throw up.
That shit is gross.
It's gross. It smells like throw up. It tastes like throw up.
It has the consistency of slimy, like that shower. It's what I imagine the Hale Hall bathroom floor. If you could scrape off the years of human sadness for that all-male shower.
All-male dorm.
All-male shower.
University of Evansville.
And it's basically a long... It's a hallway with spigots come out the wall. It's a prison shower.
Ryan Ivey, what's up?
Shout to all the dudes who wouldn't shower with me freshman year. Blah. I basically had
I think I only took 2 showers that whole year, man. Yeah, it was gross. They were communal showers, guys.
It seriously was. Which I had done sports, so I was already used to. But like, apparently, a lot of these white boys were not ready for it. They were not ready.
It was not comfortable.
You know how many times I was in the shower, and then I would literally watch cats walk in, see me, and then immediately turn around. Like, nope, I can wait.
Just came in for a poop.
Just came in, take a shit.
The communal showers were also in the stalls of the bathroom, so basically you could take a poop. You would smell somebody's poop while you were taking a shower.
It was the worst.
So
Shout out to Evansville, though.
Real quick, explain why it's important that PlayStation and Microsoft... Well, explain what cloud gaming is and streaming.
Well, it's
for
like,
my parents who were listening.
Well, it's like we were talking about last month when we... a couple weeks ago when we talked about how... who was it? The Stadia.
I thought you were going to sing for a second. You're like,
come on.
Stadia? What?
The Stadia.
Stadia. Google.
Yeah. Google announcing that the Stadia was going to be their take on streaming gaming subscriptions, something not akin to like a Netflix for gaming.
Right. Netflix for gaming. That's what Google's saying they're doing.
That's basically what Google is trying to threaten these two giants with. So I think it was oh wow, this is some Skynet ass shit, because I said Google, my laptop responded by like, how can I help you? Fuck you, Skynet. I wasn't talking to you.
It's like, fine, blow
mind
you up.
your business.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Oh, that's fucking great. I love you, bro. I fucking love you. We're so tired.
We're so tired, you guys.
No, but back to the point. I think it's an amazing collaboration if it holds. I like that the article said tentatively. So it's a smart idea for them to team up to battle these oncoming companies, but you know.
So game streaming is like Netflix, whereas the consoles, the PS4 and the Microsoft Xbox One, it's like having a DVD or VHS player.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, like we also talked about on previous podcasts, the fact that places like GameStop, like the actual place, are losing money. Like the company's lost so much money from digital downloads. People aren't going in and buying hard copies anymore. Not like you and me, who like I still go in, like a Putz,
real players,
like a Putz, and buy this piece of plastic.
They're
but
like, really,
you want
to buy this?
Yeah, but for me,
yes.
I prefer the instantaneousness of it. Even if I have to take it home go to the place and buy the thing and then take it home and then put it in the DVD player into the
VHS player.
You ass.
Betamax.
God damn it.
Cassette player. You got to rewind it before you play it.
Hey, notice that it's completely quiet now.
It is. We turned up Rob's PS4 earlier, and it literally took like 5 minutes to shut down.
The fan, like you can hear it. It's old. Oh, don't listen to him.
Still
I don't want you talking that way in front of her.
Oh, that thing's gonna last forever, dude.
You say that, and you better reach around and knock on some wood in this motherfucker. Because the minute it don't, I'm knocking on your fucking door.
All I'd say is maybe dust it once in a while.
You think I haven't? You think I haven't? That's it dusted
like
right
an
there.
Inch and a half worth of dust. I'm gonna
go
go through the video games too and take one of those.
I haven't taken the cover off of it.
Oh God, can we do something right now? No, don't let me forget about Shakira. Shakira.
God,
Shakira.
You gotta say the name right if they're gonna know what the fuck you're talking about.
I've been meaning to review Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice.
Thank you.
For the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting.
We've been missing that.
When we get to what we into, do not let me forget.
I got you.
If I'm still awake.
I got you. No, you will be awake. I'm gonna just throw beer cans at your head if you nod off.
You know what will make me nod off from existence if it never comes out is the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Did you see the tease trailer for it?
I did.
It actually had gameplay in it.
It did. Yeah, it looks really good.
It looks really fucking. I'm excited. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. No, listen. I'm dead ass. Listen. No, I'm excited. Yeah, you got me hype. Because it kind of went on like furlough for a while. Like they had announced it, and then what had happened was
2015 E3.
E3, yeah, they
anniversary of last week's episode for E3 2000. So 4 years they showed us.
But check it. No. Do you understand what happened in the interim of that? Like they weren't happy with the people who they'd given it to I guess develop it, and then they took it back.
Yeah, okay.
They took it back and decided to do it in-house themselves, and that's what took the time. And look, I don't give a fuck. Take as much time as you want, because when you drop it, you better drop it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
you're screw this up. Well, okay, they totally can,
no.
and they probably will, because as we've been realizing lately,
they
can screw up anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the end of RoboCop, where like they can fix anything. Give it, you can leave it in the entertainment industry. They can screw up anything.
But you know what? Actually, that's interesting. This is going to bring me to another segue of a video game that released that I saw this week. Tom Clancy's what was it called?
Excuse you.
Yeah, that wasn't me.
That was
really
gassy. I got off of work and I brought my chicken parm. He's just farting up the podcast.
Okay, that's not what happened.
Okay, well, you figure out what that Tom Clancy game is that you were trying to segue into and totally forgot the name of it.
It's
The Division?
It's called Breakpoint. It's called Breakpoint, but it's
okay.
It's kind of the sequel. It's kind of like the direct sequel to Ghost. It's Ghost Recon. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, yeah.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think it came out in 2017.
Okay.
And Ghost Recon for me, and you actually lent me Siege.
Yeah, Siege,
which
you weren't into for a while, but then you're like, oh wait,
no, it's actually you know what's great. This is what I'll say about it. You were right. You were right about it.
Yeah,
it's a great game, but it takes It's a level of skill that it takes to play it really well. Mm-hmm. And you have to invest the time to do it, and I just didn't want to invest time. What I did love doing is watching other people play. That Ghost Recon Siege is one of the few streamed Twitch streams and stuff that I'll sit down and watch because it's
realistic too. It's like you get shot in the leg. You don't die immediately, but you got one more shot and you're dead.
And all that to say that Ghost Recon for the last several years, I want to say 10 years, decade, has been making the best tactical shooters in video games.
Right.
And this new one, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, introduces a survival element to it now. Like when you take damage, you're going to have to find
your wounds.
You're going to have to heal yourself.
You're going to have to Rambo 3.
So if you haven't seen it, definitely. Well, I don't know, but what you should do is when you get a chance, you should take a look at the gameplay release trailer. They dropped it maybe Wednesday.
I am a ghost. An elite soldier. Trained to strike my enemies before they know I exist. Death stalks me. But I survive.
Okay.
I had just gone on this soapbox about not picking up any more Tom Clancy titles because of the fuckery that have been going on with in Division 2.
Right.
And all that.
Was that the bugs?
It's the bugs
are the issue that's bothering
you. It's because when it works well, Larry, it works really well and it's really fun. And especially when you get a group, because it's meant to be played with people, but you can also play it solo.
Yeah.
But when it works well, it works exceptionally well. But when it doesn't, you're like, this is stupid because you've had a decade to fix because it's not like new shit. It's the same problems, that they've had in other titles. You're like, why isn't this fixed now? So for me, I had just sworn off picking up these titles, and now with this gameplay trailer release, I was like, fuck.
Fuck.
I might have to pick this up.
I want to go back to Final Fantasy VII for a minute. Do you play the original?
I played it, but not to completion. I never beat it. Yeah. And this is why I'm really excited to get a remake of it, because I'm gonna beat it this time.
You could pick up Final Fantasy VII now on PS4,
right,
and play it and still have a great time.
Yeah, it's classic.
I think it's the best role-playing game.
It was
definitely the best Final Fantasy.
Well, it definitely redefined the genre because Final Fantasy had been out for, at least in Japan,
6 other games,
right? Something
a long time. I played the first one with my cousin Lance,
and that's insane.
Lance.
I never really got it. I never got into the Final Fantasies until 7. 7 was the one that drew me in because I had known about them and I had tried playing them, but that way, that sort of old school way of telling that story with the little airship or whatever, it never really pulled me in until the graphics jumped.
Yeah.
A lot.
Final Fantasy 6 is really good if you've never played Final Fantasy 6.
7 was my first real foray into the Final Fantasy world. I'd known about all the rest, but I never played them all.
You could play 6 right now and really enjoy it as a game. Yeah, I'm trying to think where you'd play it on. You can't get it on PS4. You could probably get it on PS3.
You could definitely get it on the emulator. There's just probably
sure. Oh yeah, you can get it on your Apple then for sure. I would highly recommend playing Final Fantasy VI. It's almost tied with Final Fantasy VII.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
really
very
good.
strong. Okay.
You know what else is strong?
Go ahead. Speak on it.
It's the stunt coordinator from John Wick 3 is super strong. And Chad Stahelski, as he is called. He's the director. He's not the stunt coordinator of John Wick 3. He's the director of John Wick 3. But he was once the stunt coordinator of the Matrix movies.
Oh.
Do you know where I'm going with this?
I think I do. Go ahead, though.
Well, anyways,
I think I do.
It's not very, not of much substance. But what he says is that the Wachowski siblings are working on Matrix 4.
I did hear this. Yes.
And he doesn't say if they are, involved. But he says, okay, I'm super happy that
good use on the. Sorry to interrupt. Good use on the pronoun there.
What?
Siblings.
Siblings? I try.
Well done.
I can only offend so many people a day. I have to try to not offend everyone.
Yes, ma'am. I will bring that water right to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, man, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were saying.
Here's your entree. Gosh, all right. Like, just chill.
Right, relax. Is it my cologne?
You'd be surprised how many people have no idea how to go out to eat. They don't understand the interaction. Well, it's bizarre to me.
That's why I had to stop doing that job.
Part of me just wants to be like, just sit back and just go with the ride, man.
And that's why I had to stop doing that job because
take a hit.
Because you can't choke away your problems, okay, Larry? You can't choke them away, and that was what I was in my head always envisioning. I'm just gonna choke this person away.
The director of John Wick 3, Chad Stahelski, I'll get it right one of these days, and the stunt coordinator of The Matrix 4 says, I'm super happy that the Wachowskis are not just doing a Matrix, but they're expanding what we all loved. He's telling this to Yahoo Movies UK, and this is clearly in promotion for John Wick 3, which came out 2 days ago?
Yeah,
2 days ago. And if it's anywhere near the level of what they've already done, it wouldn't take more than a call to go, quote, hey, we want you to be a stunt guy, and I'd probably go and get hit by a car. I don't know what this says.
Okay. Okay.
Anyways,
don't worry, boo-boo. We get it. They're making a Matrix 5.
Yeah, okay.
I'm all for it. Like, I heard about this, like, last week, and I was like, interesting.
Oh, you heard about it last week? All right.
No. Like, listen, I hear about a lot of things in the week, and I forget them just as quickly.
I closed out that page. We're done. We'll move on to the next piece of news.
Well, then the next piece of news is that going from movie to movie, Mortal Kombat's been announced. So
really?
Warner Brothers is doing, they've dated it for March 5th of 2021. We're getting a new Mortal Kombat with James Wan producing and Simon McCoy directing.
Simon McCoy.
Mortal Kombat will do battle on its opening date with Sony Pictures Fantasy Adventure. It's opening on the same day as Masters of the Universe.
Oh, God, that was my other one.
Oh, word?
Yeah. Well,
sorry to steal your thunder there, brother.
You stole it.
But
I didn't have the exact date of Masters of the Universe. It's
but apparently it's March.
Right?
It's March 5th, 2021. Wow, I'll see it. I mean, we've been looking for a good one for a while.
Oh yeah, here it is, March 5th, 2021. Masters of the Universe.
Beat you.
So which movie would you rather see?
That's a hard one. That really is a hard one. I feel like I'm leaning towards Masters. I feel like it's the one that's been away the longest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the one that
I forgot what the
honestly,
other movie was.
After that first movie, I thought for sure they were going to make a sequel to it. I thought they should have made a sequel to it well long ago. But because all those stars are old as fuck now.
Yes.
You definitely couldn't do it. You could probably do it with Dolph. You could do like an old He-Man story. But I don't know if you could do
Masters for sure. Yeah.
I don't know if you could do like the rest of that cast. What's his name? You know, Courtney Cox,
Franklin Jella.
He's dead, I think, right?
Yeah. No. Is Franklin Jella dead?
Isn't he?
I think he is.
I think he's hella dead.
I hope he's not.
I hope he's not too, but I think he's hella dead.
I'll look it up. Yeah, I'd definitely rather see Masters of the Universe than.
Okay.
I like the first Mortal Kombat, but after that they get shitty.
Yeah, and yeah. That's 3 yes. So,
Franklin Jella. Let's look it up. He's dead. 81 years old, still alive.
Still holding.
Kicking it.
Still holding. Like Vince Vaughn in Old School. I love it. Thank you, Frankie.
38.
What's that?
1938 was when he was born. January 1st.
Yo, he was
born in the new year.
Yeah.
January 1st. That made him really good at sports.
Did it?
Yeah, because when you're born on the new year, that means you are basically the biggest kid and then they put you in the sports for 4th grade sports or 5th grade sports. It's called outliers. It's a thing, Rob. Whereas if you were born
really, bro,
December 31st, you become the young kid, and you're like the little kid in school. It's a thing, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, dog. I'm gonna have to take your word for that, Playboy.
Take my word for it. You know what else you take my word for is that they gave us the bare minimum of information about Jean-Luc Picard's new Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
spin-off, not movie, TV show spin-off.
I didn't even bother clicking it. I was like, this is clickbait. You're not going to tell me anything in this that's going to serve.
Basically, it just says Star Trek Picard.
Did it give you a picture at least? Did you see the uniform or nothing?
Kind of. I mean, no. No uniform.
Worthless.
It's just picture Picard, and the A is the Trek symbol.
That's fucking sad.
I had a quote here about something. Maybe it's on my phone. We're a little disorganized because we're tired. And Alex Kurtzman says, the mandate was to make it a more psychological show. A character study about the man and his emeritus years. Excuse me. There are so few shows that allow a significantly older protagonist to be the driver.
I disagree.
What other shows allow?
Perry Mason, Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, Columbo.
Right, and those all came out last year.
They're making it sound like there's no precedent for shows that to have old protagonists, and that's just not true.
I don't like how he says significantly older.
Yeah,
you've got to throw that shit in there. Significant.
I mean, technically,
Patrick Stewart.
I think he's like almost 80, bro. So they're not wrong.
He can't be 80,
bro.
God, I'm just gonna Google.
Okay,
Frank Langella is 81.
Please, because
1938.
Because I love being like
Patrol Stewart. No, Patrick Stewart. No, not Wilson.
My money's saying late 70s, early 80s.
Patrick Stewart the first, apparently. What is that mean he's been knighted? Patrick Stewart. No, Patrick Stewart.
Oh my god.
Stewart. Sorry, it's your internet is slowing up here. I'll have to get back to you because your internet's slow in this.
Well, you're going to blame the internet?
No, wait, hold on. I'm not done with this
your
quote,
weak-ass fingers?
So, significantly older protagonist to be the driver. It'll be very different than Discovery. Oh, that's nice. It'll be slower, more meditative. It speaks to the rainbow of colors we're playing with in all these different shows.
That is sad. That's everything about that statement makes me just sad.
And you were wrong, sir.
How old is he?
He was born in 1940. He's 2 years younger than Frank Langella. So Frank Langella is 81. Patrick Stewart is 79. Biatch.
What did I say? Late 70s, early 80s.
Well, first you said 80s, and then I challenged you.
So 79 isn't 80? In fucking math, it would be. You'd round the fuck up,
round
Larry.
It up. It's not yet.
That's 80.
I guarantee you, Patrick
Stewart. The fuck are you talking about?
Does not think he's 80 yet.
I don't give a fuck. He is 80. He may not think it, but that motherfucker's 80. Just the same way that I'll be 38 this year. That just say I just tell motherfuckers I'm 40. Bang. Save us all a lot of time and a whole lot of math.
So, yeah.
Sadness. All of that. Everything he said in that article. Like,
did you know he's Bosley in the new Charlie Angels?
What?
He's Bosley in the new Charlie's Angels.
Who? Patrick Stewart?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yes. Says right here.
Okay. Sure.
He's also in a new movie. He's the voice of some movie in Dragon Rider coming up in 2020. He's Henry Cole in a movie called Coda.
Look, I'll watch anything Patrick Stewart is in, but all that to say, sadness abound, because that sounds exactly the way that Anthem is trying to save their video game, and it's not going to work. They're trying to make it free to play, and it's not going to do it.
Oh, well, they should have done that to begin
right.
with.
Well,
we've talked in past episodes how Anthem has not really delivered.
No, I mean, and it's coming from one of like the major AAA studios too. So, like for them to fall down majorly like this consecutively.
Are they going to offer refunds for all the people who paid money? Can you imagine going out and paying $60 for a game that sucks, and then 2 months later they're like, we know this sucks, so we're going to offer it free to play.
You know what? I think based on what's that? There was that free to play
Fortnite, Apex Legends.
Apex Legends,
yeah,
which is basically a AAA battle royale shooter that they release for free. Like an amazing. Like I'm not a battle royale fan, so those games really don't appeal to me. But if I were, to get a game like that for free. I think maybe Anthem. I think maybe what they promised. Maybe they should have tested because they did give you. You could play the beta for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you did. I did for maybe 20 minutes before I had to, run and do something else. So I didn't really get a lot of time with it. But the little bit of time that I spent with it was enough to be like, this is not. If this is what they have so far, this is not.
So you knew.
I knew.
Yeah. I think I downloaded it if it didn't play it, and then went to play it, and they were like, the beta is now closed. So I think maybe their strategy, having come off that loss from Mass Effect, maybe they should have done something the way that Apex Legends did, just kind of like, test the waters with it, free to play, and then if people wanted to get down, they could then shell their own coin for it. So this is the same company, BioWare. They made a game called Mass Effect 3, and the reason I bring it up is because people hated the end of this game, Mass Effect 3.
So much so that they changed it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, which was a terrible precedent to begin with.
Yes. So basically, Mass Effect 3 was the third game in a series called Mass Effect. And the first game that you played, you created a character.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. It was awesome. And when you got the second game, you could take all of those stats and that character and basically put them into the second game.
Well, not only the stats, the choices, because at its core, Mass Effect was sort of a choose-your-own-adventure style of game. And we've talked about choose-your-own-adventure on this show a lot.
Yeah.
And what Mass Effect did is you could play Mass Effect through various different times in various different ways, and your choices could be different each time, and it would affect the outcome of the game. There were a couple different endings. There was a way, and at some point in the game there was this really crucial choice that you had to make for the protagonist, usually revolving or surrounding like the death of a crew member. Although apparently there were ways to play the game where you didn't lose people.
Yeah. So did you play them?
It definitely. If you haven't played any of the Mass Effects, you should. They were. I mean, I take that third one for what it is. It was a completion of a trilogy, and even though a lot of people had things to say about it, I thought the ending was fine. I thought it was a fine game. I don't think they should have changed it.
The third one.
You said what now?
I never got to the ending of the third one. I had something. I can't remember what happened, but something happened where I ended up. I don't know what. I couldn't transfer my save for my second game, so I was basically starting a new game over again.
And you didn't want to. You just didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it again.
Oh man!
So I'm adjusting my.
That's a bummer.
Real quick. There we go. That's better. The reason I bring up Mass Effect and BioWare is because it was a huge fan backlash and outcry, and I think they created petitions as well. And BioWare basically said, "Oh, we hear you guys," and they created free downloadable content that changed the ending or expanded on the ending of the game. And
you're gonna definitely hear that.
That's okay. It's not a lot unlike what's sort of happening with Game of Thrones that we're going to talk about here in a minute. But we still got more news. Some of that news is that the Orville has been...
Don't say canceled. Has it been canceled? Don't say canceled.
Renewed.
Oh, renewed! Yeah! I'm telling y'all out here sleeping on fucking Orville, yo.
For a third season.
That's great.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
Huh?
I can't believe you didn't know that.
It didn't come out across the feed this week.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad about that.
Interesting.
That's fantastic.
So it'd been reviewed for a third season. I mean, I don't have anything else to say about that besides awesome. Great. I haven't watched it yet, but everybody says it's great, so I'll check it out.
You still haven't gotten watching it, huh?
Nope.
Okay. All the weeks I come on here and I talk about it, you just go one in one ear, out the other. I'm
still watching Next Generation.
Well, then you should take watching Next Generation over into watching. And you can definitely see where the similarities, because like I said, Frakes is directing a lot of these. Well, not a lot, at least a few of the episodes. So
yeah. Would you see, yes or no, a reboot of Honey I Shrunk the Kids, starring Josh Gad?
Damn. I'm at this point in my life, I'm gonna say no.
Oh,
I'm gonna say no.
What if you could take my kids and allow me an afternoon with my wife?
I see what you did there. You know
Would
what?
that seal the deal?
You know that would only mean you'd owe me a favor. So sure, why not? I'll come collecting.
You know Josh Gad. He's the dude from Frozen. He's
not only he's the dude from Frozen, he's the dude from that live action Beauty and the Beast they did that people had problems with because apparently he can't be gay ever.
Yes.
And
is he gay? Oh my gosh.
And he was in that Kevin Hart. He did that Kevin Hart joint. Him and Kevin Hart did a movie together.
Was it the jail movie?
No, it wasn't a jail movie. Why do you just because it's Kevin Hart you assume it's a jail movie?
I thought Kevin Hart did a movie where he like went to jail and he was like the small guy in jail.
Probably, but that's not this one. No, in this one he was like this. He was like you could rent a best friend, and this guy was getting married, and Kevin Hart. It's kind of like that movie that
Hitch.
Yeah, it's kind of like Hitch, like a low rent Hitch.
So basically, he played.
James, what's his face? King
Paul
of Queens.
Blatt, Mall Cop.
Yeah, he played Mall Cop's kind of role.
Awesome.
If you say so. Yo, you know it's the 10-year anniversary of Minecraft.
Yay!
Minecraft is 10 years old. I only bring that up because I still don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I can't believe that people even celebrate it because I don't understand. I don't know.
Hold on, wait 1 second.
Maybe I'm just old.
Wait 1 second.
Maybe that's
I don't know if this is monitor on, monitor off.
Wait.
Okay, no, just keep going. Sorry.
Dude, you fucking this up?
No, my computer sometimes pauses and like GarageBand will be like, "Hey, listen, we want to tell you something right now in the middle of recording," and I'm like, "Did that stop recording?"
Mind your biz.
Yeah. Okay. What else? I got some stuff here.
All right. Well,
so we got Star Wars movies coming up. They announced. For some reason, they thought it was really smart to announce in the middle of Game of Thrones, like, annoyance and disappointment and all-time low, that the creators of Game of Thrones, not George R.R. Martin, but the guys who are the showrunners and writers and producers, David Benioff and David Weiss, are going to be starting their new Star Wars trilogy that's supposed to be coming out in December of 2022.
Wait, so the Game of Thrones guys are writing a Star Wars movie?
Yeah. So if you've been following what's going on with Star Wars, basically probably about a year back, they said, okay, D&D, Benioff and Weiss, Game of Thrones guys, you were going to give you a whole trilogy to basically direct Star Wars. 3 trilogy. They also said that to Rian Johnson, the guy who directed The Last Jedi, here's a trilogy as well.
Okay.
But I think due to the backlash of Last Jedi that Rian Johnson is not going to get his trilogy.
Really?
Because they announced that there's going to be a movie coming out in 2022, 2024, and 2026. And so it sounds like Rian Johnson
is on the out.
It's on the out, yeah.
Bummer. That's unfortunate.
It's not surprising though. I don't think it's unfortunate. I don't know if it's unfortunate.
I like The Last Jedi. I honestly,
but wouldn't it? Okay,
we talked about it.
Yeah,
it's honestly. I think people just need to calm.
But wouldn't you have rather had like a dope ass Luke instead of a broke ass Luke?
Yeah, definitely. But that doesn't mean you just throw the whole picture away.
I'm not throwing the whole picture away.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying fanboys did it. A lot of people did. Yeah. That's why I didn't do it. And that's why my man's not going to get a chance to sort of clarify his take on it. And that's fine, whatever. But you can't tell a dude, you can't give a dude carte blanche to be like, yo, do whatever you want, and then feel ways at what he does.
That was their mistake. Though.
That's on them.
That was Super Disney's mistake to be like, just do whatever you want. Doesn't matter if it really ties into the last movie or not. It's fine, man. It's cool.
Regardless of how it pans out, you said these guys' names are D&D?
D&D. Well, David. They're both Davids.
Well,
Dave and David, I think. Or David and Dave.
You're going to love this segue. Yes. Dungeons and Dragons returns to Baldur's Gate.
New
Dungeons and Dragons.
What is that? I don't understand.
Well,
explain it for people who don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, Dungeons and Dragons, it's the storytelling tabletop game that you play with your friends.
Sure.
Sort of like...
I know that, but what about Baldur's... I don't know that thing Baldur's Gate.
That Baldur's Gate doesn't mean... Basically, the new edition of Dungeons and Dragons is now... Baldur's Gate is like it's a hell mount. So, Dungeons and Dragons in hell, basically. You get to go back to hell. Or go to hell, I guess.
We're so tired here. I'm not following any of that.
Right.
You get to go to hell while playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it's the map is hell. Now.
Okay. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Seriously?
Never.
Not
I
one
wanted
time.
to. Just never came around a group of people who felt like they wanted to include me in the Dungeons and Dragons games. Even though I happen to know a few who play.
That's funny because Sean Kellaway just reached out to me like in the last 2 weeks and was like, "Hey, I have a Dungeons and Dragons game at my place every Sunday. Would you be interested in joining?"
That is funny because I have a Sean Calloway email opened right now not about Dungeons and Dragons, but about other things.
Really?
About Star Wars.
So,
which we could backtrack here for a second.
I mean,
but I want to go back. So what you're saying is Dungeons and Dragons, they've just released a new map.
Their next storytelling is taking us to places. I'm reading from their website now.
Right.
The next story taking places we've never seen in modules, source books, and in video games. And one of these has a prominent role. It's Baldur's Gate. That's the name of the title. Like Baldur's Gate is a title from previous entries in the series. Now, this Descent...
how many maps are there?
It's a 256-page campaign that takes players from level 1 to level 13 and debuts September 17th.
So how does that work? So it's like basically you have like a dungeon master.
Yeah.
And you've got some dice. And you've got this 250-page game.
You know,
I'm being serious here.
You won't...
There's lots of people who would probably love D&D like me.
Right.
But nobody's ever sat them down and said, hey, let's play some D&D.
It would take too much time to sit here and explain like the ins and outs. Basically, it's a story. The dungeon master basically controls the story, and it's based around the source material that you would get from the dungeon master's guide. And then you craft your campaign. You pick your rogue, your mage, your character, whatever, and your alignment.
I pick a healer, a female healer.
I don't want to get into this. Can we segue to other news? Just know that if you're a D&D head like I am and will soon, I think I'm going to take Kellaway up on his offer to play D&D with him. But
you know who I've heard that plays a ton of D&D?
You're gonna say somebody who doesn't play a ton of D&D, aren't you?
Batman. Batman plays a ton of D&D, like so much that Alfred was like, "Listen, you got to do something else." Something else with your time.
Please expound on this theory.
Why don't you become like a guy who goes out and like fights crime or something? And Batman, Bruce Wayne was like, all right, I'll do that. And since then, they've made a whole bunch of movies starring different people.
They have.
And the next person that's going to star playing the role of Batman since he gave up D&D, Robert Pattinson.
Okay.
That's a hard name to say. Pattinson.
Okay.
Robert Pattinson.
I heard
Of Twilight fame.
I heard other things.
You know who else is in Twilight? Rami Malek.
I knew that was a segue into that, but I heard it's not final. I heard that he's in like final talks, but it's him and the guy who played Beast in those X-Men movies.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's also in Mad Max. Fury Road, same guy.
Is that him?
Yes, him.
The guy who like ends up being in the like.
He's
in
also
the car,
Tolkien right now. Why don't I know?
Oh, Tolkien. That's it. That's it. Yeah, the guy. Yeah, him. Yeah. So I heard it's between those two. So it's not said and done with Pattinson.
Who would you rather have, Robert Pattinson or Tolkien? I'm not talking about the actor who's playing Tolkien. I'm talking about actual Tolkien.
I mean, I'd like to see Tolkien do it.
I like to see Tolkien do it. He's older. He's very literary.
And the dude went to war.
He went to war. He knows what he's talking about.
So
let's find out this actor's name. 2019. Tolkien.
I mean, you could look up Dark Phoenix. He's playing Beast in the Dark Phoenix movie.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, that's
about
good.
A boy.
Oh yeah,
man, that guy.
Yeah,
He's no longer a boy. He's a man. He may be the Batman.
Oh, jeez.
So the Batman is also supposed to be. They're talking about villains.
Yeah,
potentially
Penguin and Catwoman.
Okay, you're on this.
Yeah, we've spoke. I saw it and I kind of yawned because one, it's set in the 90s. You got Penguin and Catwoman in it.
Speaking of yawning,
you're gonna edit that out, right?
No, it's
okay, perfect.
This is real. We don't.
It's basically the movies we've already seen before. So I completely just was like. Plus, I was like, I'm not really stoked on either one of them as Batman.
Have faith. When has DC ever done this wrong? Ever.
So. It's also the fastest the reboot for like a character that we've seen in recent years. Like we just had a Batman movie.
But this could. I mean,
This could
seriously, this could be the Batman.
Stop it.
Origin.
Stop it.
No, we did an
Stop
origin,
it.
didn't we? Batman Year One.
Stop it.
Batman Year One is good.
This is not going to be that.
No, you don't think so?
This is I don't no. In fact, I'm calling this movie right now. It's going to be a flaming.
If I just read the whole article that I was quoting from, I would have got to the bottom
and
where it said Deadline also is reporting Pattinson is on a short list for the role along with Tolkien star Nicholas Hoult, but no decision has been made.
Wow. You're welcome.
Listen, when you want to cover so much journalism and media because you're a super professional journalist,
You just talk to me.
you sometimes overlook things. Sometimes it just doesn't happen for you.
You want to talk about what we into this week?
I do. Is there anything else I want to talk about, though? Hold on.
Yeah, what? Because I'm like, other than E3, there's nothing really, which we've already talked about. There's, I'm done with news. I got nothing else.
Arthur, there's an Arthur character that came out as gay for a kid's TV show.
Yeah, that was cool. I saw that.
That was dope. That's representation.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was, I think, one of their teachers.
Oh, I forgot to mention, John Barenthal is we were just talking about Ghost Recon. John Barenthal is a character in it.
Oh, that's right. That's what I've seen. I did see that. Yes.
So you've seen it.
Yeah.
So you saw the gameplay for it.
I saw his face, and I was like, it made me go, oh, there's the Punisher, but now he's in a video game. I guess that's what's happening these days. That's what this is.
But it's been that, bro. You know.
I know it has been that. Wasn't Kit Harington like the face of one of the Call of Duty movies?
Movies?
Not movies. Games? Campaigns?
Really?
God, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe? I don't remember.
I don't know. Let's do what we into.
All right, you want to start?
What we
into this week.
You want to go first, or I want to go first? You go first, because I haven't opened my phone up yet.
Okay, all right. That actually leads me to my first question. Do you log your stuff in old with pad and paper, or do you just put it in your phone?
I put what we into, the things that I watch, into my phone. Mm-hmm. That way I can just cue it up like this. You know what I mean? I was writing it down, but then I don't know, the notebook would end up in another room or something, but the phone was always right there, so I always just put it in there. All of my notes for whenever we do like a movie or review or something, that I analog a lot of that stuff. But I've been trying to do that less and less because it's just easier to not do that.
All right, but you got your phone open, so you want to jump?
I got my phone open now. Sorry, I got mic issues. Why is this? My mic has been quiet today. All right, go ahead.
Oh, I should have just saved it too.
Saved what? What are you talking about?
Like all that news about Ghost Recon. It was what I was into this week.
But you didn't play it.
I didn't play. I know, but I went through the gameplay trailer a few times because it's really good.
Yeah,
and I really liked fucking Wildlands. The only reason I stopped playing Wildlands is because by the time I had completed the game, I was so OP. Like,
what did you play all week though? This week?
Honestly, I hadn't had time. These 12 hours, these back-to-back 12s, I haven't played anything this week.
Cool. You know what I played?
Sekiro. Shadows die twice. There's your singing. Twice. You wanted me to sing. There's your song right there.
What's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose. Well, would you look at that? Will you join me, starving wolf? That day, I pulled you from the battlefield. I had no idea what you'd become.
Anyway, so this is the game that came out probably a month ago at this point.
And you've been into it for the last month.
Yeah, I've been playing it. It's by the guys who did Dark Souls.
Which I got to mention that these kind of games are Larry's wheelhouse. You love these
I
games.
do like them. They're very hard.
They're super hard games. I never could get into them. And you tried on multiple occasions to get me into these games because not for nothing, like
this is not the one.
They're beautifully done. They're usually rarely like the art design, the artwork, light textures, all the bells and whistles are there, so it's a really pretty thing to play. Just that style of game for me just never got down.
I don't want to talk too much about it because it's not. I mean, either you know what it is or you don't, or
Right.
or you want to play or you don't. But talking about gameplay is not super fun.
But you've been into this.
I've been into it, but mostly like begrudgingly.
Can you speak on why?
Because
why begrudgingly?
you played it with me, and you saw like I could go and like a sneak attack.
Right.
You're a ninja in the game. You sneak attack people.
Yeah, well, can you give us a basic like what's the premise? It's called Sekiro
Shadows Die Twice.
But
and guess what? When you die, you get another chance. So you get to die twice.
But I hear that choice to come back affects people in the game world. Like there's like a sickness or something.
If you die too many times, then they get like some disease that you're supposed to deal with.
And you're like, fuck these people, I don't care.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I mean, because there's like a story to it that I couldn't even tell you what. There's like a kid you're supposed to guard, and you get it gets their arm chopped off.
The story's not good.
It's not that the story's not good, but like when you play like 1 hour of a story and then 2 weeks later finally beat a boss and they continue the story, you're like, wait, what was the story 2 weeks ago?
Wow.
Is
that your average for beating a boss is 2 weeks?
Yes.
Wow.
It took me 2 weeks to beat one boss.
Wow.
And that's not playing it every day, but that's playing it probably 5 hours, 6 hours a week.
And how many hours at a time?
Probably about 2 hours at a time or more.
So 5 hours a week, so 2 hours in a hit with like maybe 1 hour on the side. So that, give or take, how many attempts is that? Would you say 50 attempts each time?
Not quite that many. I'd probably say 20 attempts before I'm like, okay,
I'm done.
But the way the game works is that you wander around the world and you sneak attack these basically goons and you kill them pretty easily, and then you come across a boss and the boss kicks your ass for 2 weeks and then you finally beat the boss. That's how it goes.
Wow. So you're saying you should? It sounds like you're not into this game.
I'm still playing it.
So you are into it.
If you had it here right now, I'd probably be like, okay, I just want to show you this boss real quick.
Okay.
And then what would happen is I'd play the boss. I would almost beat him. I'd be like, wow, see, I almost did pretty good that time. That was amazing. And then I would play it again, and I'd try to beat the boss, and it would take me 10 more attempts. And 3 hours later, I'd be like, fuck this game. But then tomorrow, I would wake up, and I'd be like, I'll give it one more shot. I would play it, and I would beat the boss on the first try.
See, you're a better, like, that is exactly how I felt playing all of those games. Bloodborne and the ones before these. Exactly that feeling. I would attempt it for a good, hour and a half hit, and then be like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm not into this. This is like this. No, and in the previous titles, like if you had built up like a cache of anything like loot or lives or whatever, the fact that you had to run back to the place where you fucking died to get all your shit back, fuck that. I'm not doing that shit.
That's not in this game.
I'm not doing that
exactly.
shit.
But I will say one mechanic. I was fighting a guy yesterday or 2 days ago that it was, my third or fourth or fifth day of trying to beat this one boss.
Did you not just go on the internet like everybody else does?
I did, but even when you understand the tactics, you still have to be able to literally do them physically. Dun, dun. Okay, so there's this guy, and he's like called the something long arm centipede Sin-O or something like that, right? So you have this mechanic where you can attack or you can block.
Yeah.
And every time you block an attack,
it builds a meter.
Right? Yeah. And when that meter is fully built, you basically stagger and they can attack you and kill you. So one of the ways that you had to beat this guy was to block 10 attacks in a row, right? But if you hit the attack if you hit the block, which is basically like a trigger button, at the right moment, it deflects him, and then his meter grows.
Yep.
And so I built his meter up. It finally grew, and then I finally attacked him and killed him. But it's this interesting mix of you can attack a character, but that's not always the best way to defeat them. Sometimes it's better to block a bunch of attacks, build their meter up till you stagger them, then kill them that way.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to talk about it too much because
I think that's exactly the right tech. Because I remember, I think we were talking. I think I brought it up on one of the previous week's podcasts. Somebody beat this game using
Bongos. I don't even know how. I don't get it.
Well, if it's all about just timing a parry of a sword, I think if you're doing that versus that, it might be an easier thing. Or maybe this guy is just a super badass.
If it was easy, it wouldn't take me 3 weeks to do it. I beat every Dark Souls game. Those games are supposed to be super hard.
Yeah, and this might be on par. I honestly don't know what to tell you.
I'm not going to beat this game.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, okay, now tell me this. The Dark Souls games were more linear than this is. This seems more open world and like kind of vague. Like you were saying to yourself, like, you wandered into this boss fight that you weren't sure that you were even supposed to be at yet, and then you were like, oh, wait a minute, I missed this item that allowed me to get past this guy in this way.
It's definitely similar to Dark Souls 1, where there was a lot of branching paths, and you didn't know exactly where to go, and you could go a lot of different directions and succeed or fail, and they would point you in another direction. It's kind of like that. But then Dark Souls 2 and 3, those got a little more linear, but not quite. That's not even so much the issue. You know, once I realized, oh yeah, this is like their previous games they've made it, then I understood, and I just went and found another place to go. This game is just really hard. It's harder than any Dark Souls game I've ever played, and I just wish it was just a little. I don't want it to be easy.
That's interesting.
Because I don't want it to be like Spider-Man. Spider-Man's too easy. Even though it's hard, it's still easy.
You turn the difficulty up on Spider-Man. It's not so easy.
Exactly. That you can't adjust the difficulty on this at all. It's just one difficulty. That's what it is. Deal with it. Imagine like if Spider-Man released and there was only the hardest difficulty, like balls to the walls, fucking hard difficulty.
I would play it, like you said, begrudgingly. I would begrudgingly play it.
Let's move on. What are you into?
You know, I think you walked in on some of what I was into.
I walked into a lot of what you were doing.
No. Jesus Christ. But for the most part, for me, I'm just going to talk about the standouts. I jumped into Dark Crystal this week. It's so good. I mean,
Dark Crystal, Jim Henson's
Magnus Opus. It's just so good. I mean, it's breathtakingly good.
In a place outside time lies a mystical realm of sound and vision. A wondrous civilization. Where good and evil struggle to possess the Dark Crystal.
Is it for kids? Good question, right?
I say yeah.
Yeah.
I say definitely, because I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And even now seeing it as an adult, I understand it better now than I ever did as a kid. But, it's definitely for kids.
Puppets, yo.
Just
puppets.
It's so good. So, really into Dark Crystal. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a rewatch with... Even if you don't have kids, if you haven't seen it in a minute, pop it on. It's on Netflix. It's I'm emotional. Because I just watched it last night. It's so fucking good. Fuck.
What's your favorite part? Remind me of a good part in it.
Well, the intro, like how it's almost Shakespearean the way it starts.
Yeah, with the Skeksis.
The Skeksis, and like how they lay out the history for you. This is a time and place that once upon a time this place used to be lush and green, and now it's fucked because this crystal. And the fucking scene where at the top where the Skeksis are doing their daily, where they're getting the light, from the sun.
So weird.
And then you go around. They basically pan around the circle of the 10 Skeksis, and you see just little bits of their face move. Like one of them, his eye was twitching and shit, and then the one with his neck was pulsing.
It's puppet porn.
It kind of is. It's so good.
It's basically like Jim Henson was like, look at all this shit we can do with puppets, yo.
That's kind of what I was. That's what I'm sitting there watching. Like when he created this, like, and just like some of the shots, how he like some of these shot compositions, the way he set out some of these shots with these, and like how we would go from like live action where you can see like it's clearly like an actor versus like him.
Yeah.
It's his Magnus Opus. There hasn't been a better... I mean, I've seen all the Muppet movies or whatever. This is better than all of them by a lot.
Is this better than Happy Time Murders?
By a lot. And I loved Happy Time Murders. You know I love Happy Time Murders. But no, this is...
It had issues.
This is This is and Happy Time Murders was kind of a cross. It was a hybrid. There was humans in that.
What else you
got? Wine Country.
I watched it too.
What'd you think? I watched it and I thought of you.
I had this pretty highbrow moment where we went to the Frida Kahlo exhibit at Brooklyn Museum. It was the last day for Mother's Day.
I saw the pictures.
The pictures are awesome.
Yeah.
You can go to my Facebook page, Lauren Style. Check them out. They're on there.
You just plug your Facebook page.
I'm just saying, if you want to see a picture of my children and my wife, it's on Facebook. Don't stalk us and kill us. There's only 200 of you. 200,000.
That's amazing.
The cops will find you.
Okay.
But I went to the Frida Kahlo Museum, and one of the things she said when she went to New York, which she called United States, basically Gringolandia.
She's not wrong.
She's not wrong, right? But she went to New York and she loved it, but it also freaked her out a little. And she said, one of the things she said was, how can, these people with this much wealth, how can people in New York live with this much class discrepancy? Rich versus poor. These people, like, over in the Dakotas, John Lennon, like, super rich people, and then dirt poor down in...
Bro, that's Baltimore.
Right?
That's,
That's New York. That's everywhere.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
And so then when I was watching Wine Country with my wife, and I think I got more into it than she did, and even though she's the one who wanted to watch it and put it on...
Interesting.
One of the things Laurel said was, she was like, they're all so successful. Mm-hmm. Even though what's-her-face has lost her job.
Right.
They're all highly successful.
Yeah. They're all white women.
Highly successful white women. I don't know.
Well, Maya Rudolph.
What? What about Maya Rudolph?
I think she's a mashup.
What? Between what?
White and black?
Oh, yeah. No, yes. So, yes.
Yeah, so.
I thought you meant a mashup that's successful. Was it Maya Rudolph is definitely successful?
I don't know what a mashup in success would be.
No.
It sounds like a bad thing. Like if you say, wow, that person's a mashup in success, it sounds bad.
So did you like Wine Country? Oh, by the way, Rachel Dresch came to my restaurant, and I served her the night that we watched the movie. I served her food. She was there. Yeah. I served her food, and she was there at the restaurant. She comes to supper all the time.
I see her randomly on the street a lot in New York. Yeah, she's
so
usually...
she came with her mom. She came with her kid, and we actually we know each other by look. You know what I mean?
Like,
hey. You know what I mean? And she definitely puts off the vibe, like, I will talk to you if you want to, but I'd prefer probably not, because I'm just here with my kid. And so I'm always respectful about that shit. And I'm like, what the fuck am I asking Rachel Dresch anyways? You're really good in John Oliver, Rachel Dresch, and blah, blah, blah. If I'd seen Wine Country, though, I would have told her that I think she's really good in that movie.
So you had served her that day?
That night, and I came home, and then Laura was like, let's watch Wine Country. I was like, okay, and we put it on, which was interesting.
That's a weird synergy right there.
Yeah, right?
Huh.
But I probably served Rachel Dresch 10 times over 10 years. Dratch.
You be fucking up motherfuckers'
Dratch.
names, boy. just
what did you think about it, though?
I liked it in bits and spurts. I did like... the best part of the movie for me was the psychic. When the psychic came in and read them all.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I love that. That device was really cool, right?
That was great. Because... Everything up until then was just kind of like, I thought this would be funnier.
Did she pay the psychic to say those things? I can't remember.
No,
I thought that was going to be a thing. That was a stoner thing that I thought. Oh my god, somebody paid her to say these things.
No, because remember she walked into the room and they immediately, because it's the first night after they had gotten to the Airbnb or whatever, and they had gone out and started drinking, so they were all hungover, and the psychic shows up because old girl had scheduled the psychic, and then the psychic comes in and is like. Oh, she already starts like pulling their cards or whatever, and they were like, no, maybe we don't want to do this.
Yeah,
there was that moment where they were really apprehensive, and then as she's going through them, they were more apprehensive about it.
I agree with you. That was the best. I think that was the best moment. It was that felt like a play to me as well. It felt like an interesting like. We're going to set these things up, and now you're just going to wait and see how these things pan out.
And what was kind of interesting for me, because the cast is stacked with just amazingly talented
they're all
comedians.
All great.
So I feel like for me, it led me to believe it was going to be something it ended up not being. I thought it was going to be way funnier, a lot more slapstick, and it was more real. It was more like I love that they had that catchphrase, "Things you say now" or whatever, or "Things we say now."
Oh, the things we say now.
Like, and it would refer to like,
what was the other thing that they said that happens all the time? She was like, if you find Tina Fey's, I have an issue with Tina Fey's character in this movie too.
Oh, really? I would love to hear why.
Tina Fey's character basically is like, she knows all of these actresses, and we know that Tina Fey knows all these actresses and is friends with all these actresses, but yet she's playing this role like she's a stranger to all these. And then at the end of the movie, she's just hanging out with them. And I get the logic behind it. It makes logical sense. But it just bothered me. I'm like, you could have cast anybody other than Tina Fey, and it wouldn't have felt like
forced,
and not in the world of the movie. It brought me out of the movie, basically. Not that there was anything wrong with Tina Fey's portrayal of that character, blah 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 blah, whatever. It was fine.
It didn't bother me at all.
It just made me think like, Tina Fey, like, you should have just been one of these girls.
You know what it felt like? It definitely felt like she was in another movie than the other women, because she felt more hammy, more like she felt where I thought the movie was gonna be, more like out there, more like, hey, you know what this is? It's me playing with my girls in front of the cameras.
Oh, the other thing they always said, if you find yourself ever saying, "I'm just saying," wasn't that it? I'm just saying. Oh, I just want to say. Rob really needs to use some deodorant.
Fuck you.
I just want to say, Larry's got not a lot in the pants down there. If you know what I'm saying.
I don't think we should ever. I don't want to say this. I don't think we should use that device in any.
But it's so true though. Like that is like the harbinger of gossip. You know what I mean?
Wait, say it again. I don't want to say.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm just saying.
God, I lost it. I had to say. No, we lost it because so many. I'm sorry.
All right. Anyway. Wine Country.
Oh, can I just say? Can I just say that's what it is?
Can I just say
it happens all the time at your workplace? If you are listening to this at work, and a coworker comes up to you and says,
"Can I just say?"
Nope. I just want to say,
kill yourself.
Can I just say,
kill?
They're bringing some gossip on. You should listen because it's going to be interesting.
Nonsensical.
Cheers.
Welcome to Wine Country. Here you'll discover the heart of America's finest wineries.
I detect a hint of Fruity Pebbles.
In fact, there are more acclaimed wineries in the Napa Valley than any other region in North America.
Stop. Just give me the bottle.
But the allure of Wine Country goes beyond our illustrious handcrafted wines. Take your Merlot high above the hills on a hot air balloon voyage.
There's no toilet up here, you guys. I thought there'd be a catheter situation.
Indulge in our famous delectable cuisine.
That's not enough.
Admire the haven of lavish wildlife.
It's filled with snakes.
She's not being funny. There's a lot of snakes.
Enjoy one of the most relaxed travel experiences imaginable.
Why did I do this? Somebody come get me.
We invite you to visit the legendary Wine Country.
Let me see. Stand out. Oh, Easy.
Oh, I wanted to watch it. How was it?
It's kind of fantastic.
Yeah.
So each
Netflix.
It's just called Easy. The only thing the best summary and description I can give of it, it's about relationships.
Oh, I thought this was the documentary of the Commodores. Easy like Sunday morning. 'Cause I'm easy.
Yeah, I'll kill you.
Easy like Sunday.
No, I don't want to get my hands dirty. Kill yourself.
All right. Yes. No, I did see this. I even turned to Laura. We should watch this.
Did you actually watch it?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
Imagine if you had somebody sitting on the couch right here with you the whole time, and every time you clicked on something,
you're like, "Hey, you want to watch this?"
You had to confirm or deny that this is something we should watch together.
Okay.
That's what married life is these days. You know how many married people just sit on the couch and there's like,
"Yay,
we should watch this." No, I don't think so.
I don't want to watch that.
I was going to tell you about Jailbirds. I was like, oh, Laurel, I want to watch this. She was like, no.
Amazing.
I don't want to see any of that.
So, but you can't just say that, and you got to explain it. What is Jailbirds? Why wouldn't Laurel want to see a show called Jailbirds?
It was about what would look like women in jail, but I think
what
it
looked
also had
like
men.
Lawrence. It
was right.
women
Well, it
in
didn't
jail.
include. I'm just saying it wasn't just men. So I'm just adjusting. This is like I can't get my mic right tonight.
What you can't see, people, is that this mic is literally like hitting him in the face. It's rocking on its axis and smacking him in the face.
I love how the first 5 minutes of the podcast, I'm like, Rob, you gotta move your mic.
Yeah, exactly. You're giving me notes on mics. You're the one who get beat up by yours.
This is your levels way up high. Mine are actually perfect now that I moved my mic. Before they were way too low.
Listen, you literally walked there and were like, you know what? You can be as loud as you want. I found out how to compress the sound. It's not even an issue. Did you not? Did you or did you not say that to me today?
I get a bunch of stuff. What else
did you or did you not, motherfucker?
We gotta keep this podcast moving.
You see?
Choo choo. It's moving.
Silence.
What's going on?
You see that silence, folks?
Yeah, Wine Country is good.
I'll
watch easy.
Yeah, watch Wine Country. It's fun. It wasn't what I expected, but it was fun.
Okay, my turn.
Go ahead. What you got?
What We Do in Shadows. TV show, FX now.
Yeah.
Why some kids outside?
Yeah, it's a Friday. Wait, no, it's a Friday night. Yeah.
It's 1:48 in the morning.
It's a Friday night. It's a Saturday morning.
It's a Saturday morning, baby. Yeah, What We Do in Shadows, really good TV show.
Is it?
Really good
great.
song
I'm
for
glad.
the opening thing.
I'm glad.
You're dead, and you're gonna have now.
Worth it.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world. You'll never get a second chance. Plan all your moves in advance. Stay dead, stay dead, stay dead, stay dead and out of this world. Run fast, don't stand in the sun. There's too much work to be done. You're down, you're down, you're down, you're down and out of this world.
It's worth the madness of delirium. Worth it. That's great. I'm glad. I saw the first few episodes of it and I really enjoyed it.
Did you watch the movie yet?
No, I haven't.
Watch
Not
it.
yet.
So good.
Not yet.
So good.
What else you got?
What else do I got? I did not finish Wandering Earth.
You didn't,
but
you started it.
Yeah,
and?
I didn't think it was terrible, but it did not. When I had other options of other things to watch later, I did not go back and finish it.
Really? You felt a ways?
Yeah,
okay.
I did feel it. But you know what? The beginning of the movie also kind of like threw me a little bit.
What do you mean?
Because they have all this talk about the sun is expanding and that's we have to move the planet. Okay, like I can get behind ridiculous premises. It's fine. They're gonna put some like rockets on this planet
on the surface of the planet. Yeah, it's ridiculous, but I think the science aspect they handled kind of on point.
What bugged me about it though is that like instead of like being like, oh, we have some issues and it's due to climate change, they're like, oh no, we have some issues because the sun is expanding.
So you wanted them to address the climate change issue?
No, because I guess in the premise of moving the planet, that's not going to actually change the planet. But it just still felt like this is a movie from China, and other than the United States, China is like one of the biggest polluters.
You know what I think? I think you're still a movie snob, motherfucker. You are still a snob for movies.
I am a snob. But I know
you're sitting there. The premise is they're going to move the planet because the sun's expanding, and you go to climate change.
I guess like if I'm going to watch a disaster movie now, we're living with so much like disaster just like here,
right,
in our lifetime suddenly.
That's why I was so glad that such an outrageously ridiculous premise that could never actually happen. They took a chance and told the story. And I was like,
I guess,
okay,
all right. You turned me, but at the same time,
yeah, Rob Robson turned the motherfuckers since 1981.
All we need is about $2,000 and some heroin, and we just stockpile it. So we're like 80 years old. We get the best VR. We just do heroin. and
No, see, I already told you, I'm not trying to do heroin to death. I'm just trying to do it like a little bit of OJ.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to do VR to death, but I'm just trying to do it like heroin.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
What else you got? Anything?
What else I got? Hold on a second. My phone keeps like... so then I watched Remastered, The Devil at the Crossroads, which was about the guy whose record I have. I can't think of his name.
The guy who sold his soul to the devil at the crossroads for fame?
Yeah.
Robert Johnson?
Yes, thank you.
Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
My God, that was going to be bad.
My name's Robert.
Yes.
You couldn't even look at me and be like, Jesus Christ.
It was pretty good. But not as good as the Ralph Macchio movie, Crossroads.
Not nearly as good as the Robert Macchio movie, Crossroads.
I had forgotten all about that movie until I watched this documentary.
I felt a ways with... Don't you remember that Britney Spears came out with a movie called Crossroads?
Yes.
I felt a ways. I was like, wait... Are we just going to ignore the fact that that's the name of a really fantastic movie with Ozzie Davis and Robert Macchio? You fucking kidding me? I felt the ways, but nobody else seemed to feel the way, so I just shut up. Fuck off.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. No shit.
I got one more, but you go.
Okay. I was into It's Bruno. You called me watching that.
It's Bruno.
It's Bruno.
And I had we had the philosophical quandary, the question that if we were having sex with the lady, me, my wife, you preferably not having sex with my wife, you having sex with somebody else, and they called out the name of your pet, preferably your dog or some pet you have. I guess in your instance it would be a cat.
Yeah, it'd be my cat. It'd be like, oh, Chopper. Chopper? Really?
In this case, it's Bruno.
Yeah, in this case, it's Bruno.
What would you do?
Would you? The question that we came up with, is that a deal breaker? Is that like if you're in the throes of it, if you're in the heat of the passion, you're making the beast with the two backs. You know what I mean?
Beast with the two backs.
And your partner, girl, male, female, like, because I feel like this could happen for a girl or a guy.
We could go either way.
Either way, like if your partner in the heat of the moment just calls out your pet's name. Is that a deal breaker? Do you break off the act to address it, or do you continue and then address it later? Or you're like, oh my God, you just called me by my dog's name.
Tartar sauce.
I don't think we can tell them the end of the story. The name of the show is called It's Bruno. I think it's about 8 episodes, and each episode is about
Netflix,
10.
Right?
Yeah, it's Netflix. Yeah. Each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes in length, so they're real short, real quick. And they're about this guy, a man, and his dog, and his dog's name is Bruno. And it's shot in Brooklyn. I think if you watch it, you'll recognize a lot of that cast.
You see me and Rob in the background.
Yeah, maybe not. You should check it out. Maybe. But you'll recognize a lot of. I think you'll recognize a lot of the people in the show. Because I think they're all like comedians and like actors that do work that you see. But check it out. It's worth a look. It's Bruno.
What else you got?
I think the last couple of things I got are repeats. There was an anime that Netflix produced this week. It's called Revisions. I jumped into it because I've been watching a lot of Time. Not a lot of time. I gotta finish that sentence.
I've been watching a lot of time.
I've been watching a lot of time. So like I was gonna start a Bob Dylan song or something. No, I've been watching a lot of content that has to do with like time, whether it be like manipulation or like people who deal with manipulating, like the Avengers, like time manipulation. Basically, is what I'm saying. And this particular anime deals exactly with that. Basically. It centralizes around these basically 5 elementary school kids who get saved by this mysterious woman who is from the future.
Does she have pink hair?
Yes, she does.
I know because I'm looking at the.
Yeah, I obviously figured that out when you were tickety.
Anime loves their pink hair.
It's because it symbolizes a special trope. Characters with pink hair are like. All hair color in anime it has a specific reason for it. Like
really?
Like characters with blonde hair, like it means something. Like they symbolize like power and like vitality and character. Like every anime's character's either hair or eyes mean something. Like if a character has red eyes, that usually means that they're strange or different. All of that stuff that they mean something. But the premise is that it's centralized around these elementary schools, and this woman from the future saves them, and she tells one of them specifically that he's responsible for protecting. Like there's this great disaster coming, and he's going to be responsible for protecting everyone.
You're responsible for protecting everyone. That's why I saved you. So
basically, cut to you see them a few years later, and now they're in high school, and their city Shibuya, like this actual place in Japan, gets teleported to the year 2238 or something, like 350 years into the future. Oh
shit!
Where a pandemic has ravaged the planet and humanity is sort of on the brink. And apparently, and it's only scratches it because it's interesting time manipulation storytelling. So this woman from the future. So when they go to this future, that woman is there, but it's not the woman that they met in their past. It's interesting enough. I'm watching it in English. I think I'm going to go back and watch it in Japanese when I get through with the first viewing. But the anime style is really good. And I love time stories, and this is a pretty decent one. So,
did you see that anime Your Name?
Your Name? No, I didn't. But it has been in my queue for a very long time.
You should watch it.
It's the one about the boy and the girl who switch bodies.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. There's also a big time element to it as well.
Word?
Yeah. It's one of the. It was
very well reviewed.
Yes.
It got very
you should
high
see
marks.
it. I saw it on an airplane, and loved the idea of two people who switch bodies. Because they just basically wake up and they're like, oh, where am I? What is going on?
Right,
what body is this?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
What would you do if you woke up in a different body tomorrow?
Masturbate. First thing.
Really?
Yep.
First thing in a new body, you're just going to masturbate?
Masturbate.
Regardless of what body it is?
Didn't matter.
Really?
Checking it out.
So, like, you wake up tomorrow, you're in a 6-year-old's body. You're masturbating?
Ooh. Maybe.
Good answer. Good answer. It's like a Family Feud. Good answer.
Maybe.
Let's see masturbate.
Depends.
Survey says.
Depends. Currently, all of my answers are informed by my bias, my sexual bias of being 38, married.
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
But if I woke up and I was a 6-year-old's body, all my hormones would be different. So I don't know.
Just ridiculous.
Maybe I just eat a bunch of candy.
Just ridiculousness. All right, I'm just gonna go through the list and round out the last things.
I thought you already did that.
No, that was the standouts. These are just the rest of the things that I've already said on the show.
Okay, I got one more too.
Into the Badlands, which just wrapped. The season finale just aired.
Yep. How was that? Good.
It's a good series. They're definitely making another. They'll make another pass of it unless something really ridiculous happens. But Into the Badlands, Lucifer, and Boruto, and those are what I was into this week. What else you got?
The last thing I watched, I guess yesterday, was The Perfect Bid.
Yeah, the documentary.
Yeah,
I wanted to watch it. How was that? I was gonna watch it, but I wanted to actually watch it and not fall asleep to it.
So it's basically about a guy who
gamed the system
and watched The Price is Right his entire life, and made
on there and killed.
Made like Excel spreadsheets and basically kept track of everything that was ever on the show. And how much it costs.
You think you think he watched 10,000 hours worth of?
Easily. Yeah.
Then he was a master at The Price is Right.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
he wasn't necessarily trying always to game it. He just loved the show. He had been in the audience 37 times,
and gotten picked. How many of those?
Once.
That's it?
Yeah, because they had this rule that once you were picked on the show,
you could never be on it.
You could never be on it again. And then 10 years later, they said, okay, you can be on it again. But he ends up allowing somebody else. But because you know how Price is Right works, where it's you're in the audience and you can if you got up there, I could be like, Rob, 275, 275 from the audience.
So he worked with a partner.
Yeah, so he would. basically make friends with people in the audience. And time again, those people would get picked, and he would be in the audience
and he'd
giving
be their
them
guy.
Yeah, he'd give them those things. And finally, the one that basically Bob Barker, which I mean, you should watch it just to remember how amazingly cute and awesome Bob Barker is. Like, he's literally like one of the nicest guys of all time.
Thousands of sexual assault
against Bob Barker.
Oh yeah,
really?
He was apparently like a notorious Me Too monster.
Bob Barker.
Oh yeah. Google.
Have your pet spayed and neutered?
Have your pet spayed and neutered would be a little grabby old motherfucker. Like numerous models came forward and was like, "Yo, that old man put his hands on me," but America was like, shut up, model.
Price is Right model lawsuit latest in history of harassment claims?
Bang.
Shady side of Bob Barker?
Bang.
Bob Barker fears sexual harassment legacy on The Price is Right?
Bang.
Barker's beauty. Price is Right model sues show for sexual harassment.
Yeah, homie. Yeah. Your cute model of Bob Barker, no, he was a predator, brah.
Well, let's see what happens if we look Drew Carey sexual assault. Maybe it'd be worse.
I don't think you'll find much. I don't think you'll find much.
Drew Carey.
Maybe one or two things that he kind of paid out of pocket for.
Ex Price is Right model shares what she really thinks of Drew Carey. Okay.
Oh, well, that's nothing.
Price is Right model lawsuit. Latest, no.
Nope, that's Bob.
10 male celebrities, no.
Nope. You're not gonna find much. I don't think. Like, you know how I know about Bob? Like, I love Price is Right. I grew up watching that shit like your man did on the show.
Yeah.
But I don't live I never lived near the place. That was never going to be an option for me to be on the show. But I grew up loving that. Like, one of the greatest things about that show was spinning that wheel at the end, and if a motherfucker hit $1 on the first roll, you got to spin again. You know, I've literally seen a motherfucker spin $3 back to back. It's gnarly. It's like finding a quarter standing straight on its side. It was gnarly as fuck.
I definitely remember seeing like some
100,000
Marine guy get up there and yank on it, and the whole thing shook and looked like it was gonna roll off the podium and down the stage.
You know what was always you know what, in the back of my mind, it was always like, I always kind of, it's just a dark thought where like you see those little old ladies get up there and then like you just imagine them spinning it hard enough to like break their own back. You're like, oh shit, the old lady killed herself.
She tried so hard.
Oh god. Yeah.
All she wanted was a lazy boy.
All she wanted was that luggage, that suitcase.
It's good. It's a really simple. It's the perfect bid. It's really simple. I mean, it's not going to make you feel bad or necessarily great. Now that you know all about Bob Barker.
But I knew that about Bob Barker. You're new to that.
Nothing is safe for
Bob.
me.
No, Bob. You know his name is Robert too, right?
Oh no.
Robert Kelly, Robert Barker.
Sexual harassment all around.
Wait
a minute. Robert Pattinson.
Robert Robinson.
Oh no. Well, we should, I guess, talk about Game of Thrones.
Yes, please.
Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of Thrones.
You notice how each of us left it off of our list of what we were into this week.
No,
I didn't bring it up for being on my list, and you didn't bring it up.
I was just saving it for last.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were saving it for last. You were into it this week.
So this
Do tell.
If you're listening to this,
do tell.
You probably watched the last episode of Game of Thrones a night or 2 nights ago. This is the second to last episode. This is when, for the most part, fans really are like shitting the bed here. Really just
it's
freaking
almost
out.
over, and fans are like, the fuck is going on?
There's been a petition that's gone out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
880,000 signatures. This is why I brought up Mass Effect 3.
And this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They BioWare set a very bad precedent with that shit.
Yeah.
Now, and I understand
explain that to the listeners who don't know about what happened in Mass Effect 3.
Well, I thought we did.
We did. Oh, anyways, they changed the ending.
Yeah, they changed the ending. Yeah. But that was based on and I understand if you're a developer wanting to have your community have a part in have a say in the content that's being made. But if you make a game and you're a writer and editor, you make a game and you book it with an ending, fans should not be able to say, hey, that's not the ending we want, you need to remake it, and then you just do that. That's not how that's supposed to work.
I agree.
They set a really terrible precedent by caving to fanboys in the fan base.
I agree,
because not everybody felt like that. It was enough people, I guess, who had access to keyboards and wanted to feel big about themselves. But at the end of the day, I didn't feel no ways about it. I know a lot of other people who had played the game who didn't feel no ways about it. All that to say, fandom should not shape how a writer writes.
Consumers should not control the art that they're consuming.
No,
otherwise, just be the artist.
Thank you. Write your own shit.
Yeah. People were not happy. Dan Reeves burnt King's Landing.
Yeah.
People were surprised. In general, in general, what's happened, I think, is that
Jesus, get out of here.
Yeah, there's a bug in this room.
It's a moth.
It's a huge moth.
It's a tiny, minuscule moth that I could squish between both my fingers. It's Mothra.
Basically what happened is HBO, this is my understanding of it, this could not be right, but there's some version of this is right. HBO came to D&D, the creators of and writers, Benioff and Weiss, David and David, and they said, your contract is up. Please come back. And they were like, no, I think we're done. We'll give you this much time for the new season of Game of Thrones. Basically, what's out right now. And you guys, you can do whatever you want. If you want, we can write episodes and leave the season unfinished, and you can bring people in, and they can finish it for us. And HBO's like, no, you guys just you finish it.
Wrap it up.
And so it feels finished. Sean Calloway has a lot of thoughts on this as well.
Interestingly, before you get to Calloway's thoughts on this, did you, by any chance, watch the 3-minute video of Game of Thrones stars being asked about this final season?
Yes, but it wasn't. Yes, it wasn't entirely in context.
Wasn't it though?
Some of it was.
Enough of it felt like it was in context.
But yeah, they definitely a lot of the stars definitely looked as if they were like, well,
they had Peter Dinklage at 2 points. At 2 points in the video being like, yeah, so he's literally talking about the thing we talked about in the episode where they put everybody in the crypt and the motherfucker can raise the dead.
Right. That's all
and
that
he's
part.
like he's literally in the interview being like, yeah, so yeah, I mean maybe it looked like to me that a bunch of those motherfuckers knew what was going down.
Yeah, his character's certainly been the most disappointing.
Well, for somebody who's supposed to be like a brilliant tactician and now who's sober, brilliant, supposed to be like
he's not sober. He's drinking wine down in the crypt.
Well, now he is. It seemed to me at the top of the season he was sober, he wasn't drinking, and now he's progressively started drinking more and more. Like as this season kind of progressed, he started drinking. I don't know.
I wasn't tracking that.
I
mean, you've not really invested.
Because it sounded like characters had over the course of this season have been telling him, "Oh, you used to be such a drinking, whoring, blah blah blah," and he actually goes, "I still drink" or whatever like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but and he's always drunk. I don't think he ever was like they never really like exposed him as an alcoholic or really like addressed it.
Seemed like he was fucking definitely an alcoholic.
Yeah. So you didn't have the investment in Game of Thrones that like my mother had or that my sisters had.
Mm-hmm.
What was your reaction to this episode when you saw it? Yeah.
My initial reaction was like, that seems mad. Like, and what we had been talking about last week, and like this change in how like Danny specifically, how Danny's character specifically seems to be veering off the rails in a way that I initially started to say seemed out of character,
Mm-hmm.
but if I remember correctly, her lineage, like she comes from madness. Like her dad went mad and like wanted the same. Basically, wanted what she ended up doing to happen. Like he wanted that city to.
He was going to do it, and Jaime Lannister stabbed him. Is the idea?
So
killed him so he wouldn't do it.
So in storytelling, in the arc of like taking a character's journey to its like zenith and like more, it seems on like I said initially, I was like, well, that seems mad out of character. But when I stepped away from it and gave it a little bit of thought, I was like, oh no, actually, for me, she's the only person in the episode whose character seems to have made the most sense dramatically arc wise. Anyway,
yeah.
Everybody else seemed to have been neutered in a lot of ways. Like
I agree with that too.
Jon Snow, basically, Jon Snow has been a no show in this season for me as far as like he's been completely neutered.
I agree. Tyrion's
she's
been
my
neutered.
Queen. She's my queen. So I bow the knee.
I do what she says. I won't do her, but
and then like he shows,
she tells me to.
There's a scene where he's standing like toe to toe with Grey Worm or whatever, and they're facing out, and those guys are surrendering or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the shit jumps off, and he basically just stands there and is like, and then like tries to stop it. I'm like, you ain't gonna stop this now. Your chance to stop it was to like be out in the middle and be like, all right, guys, all right, it's over, whatever.
Let's get home.
Yeah, let's just all wrap it up. He stands there, waits for Grey Worm to run at least 2 motherfuckers through, and the armies are like the surrounding flanks to close around him to be like, now I want to be peacemaker.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Come on, stop it.
So you didn't come out of this being like, oh man, I can't believe she did that.
Initially, yes, but like I said, as soon as I stepped away from it and had time to sort of like think about what I knew about the character's kind of past and lineage, I was like, oh yeah, it may not make sense for it also based on the fact that they're trying to wrap this thing up in no time.
Yeah,
it would make sense that they would rush a gigantic moment like that, but in the moment initially I was like, no, that seems wrong. Like a lot of this seems wrong. The fact that they're fighting this war right now seems wrong. All of it seems out of place.
Well, you know what I will say?
How did you feel? What was your thoughts?
Well, before I say that, what I will say is that they've changed the medium of how they're presenting this show.
Yep.
So the show comes from a book, which is meandering and sprawling and as many pages as it needs to be. Mm-hmm. The chapters are as long as they need to be. Mm-hmm. And then when they came out with the TV show, it was very linear, and basically was
that's probably structure-wise issues I had with it.
Structure-wise, it was consistent for about all the way. Structure, not you're making a face. I'm talking about structure, not content.
Right.
Structure-wise,
explain for the layman what's the difference between structure and say
what.
Because I feel like
structure is as simple as like if you're going to have commercial breaks, they're there and they're in the same spot all the time.
Right.
If you're going to have a 45-minute show, it's going to be 45 to 48 minutes long every single episode.
Copy.
And for the most part, that's how it was all the way up until they ran out of the books.
Right.
Once they caught up with George R.R. Martin, which I think was around
season 5.
Season 5, right? Once they got to that point, basically it changed a little bit.
They started making them longer.
They started making longer, particularly in the 7th season and this 8th season. Uh-huh. And when you go from a 45-minute structure
to an hour and a half,
and whatever, how many 13 episodes it was, or however many episodes were in each season, to 6 episodes, an hour and a half, you change the entire structure of what the show is.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So it inherently it's going to feel different than what the previous seasons have felt like,
right?
For better and for worse.
And what would you say? Would you say for the worse in this case?
Yeah, because in this case it feels rushed. But if HBO came to them and said, if the contracts were up and they were like, we want to be done and we're only going to give you this amount of time, what I feel like they should have really done is said, okay, then film half the season, then let's give another team the second half of the season. They're going to finish it. Sorry. Because we're not going to rush this.
Right.
We're going to give this as much time.
That would have been the smart thing.
Yeah. We're going to give this as much time as it deserves and much time as it needs.
Were there moments in the episode that you felt were at least salvageable? Because
yeah, actually, I came out of the episode very disappointed in the character and the choice that she made, and it was sad, but I don't think in hindsight, now that I've had some time with it, it doesn't feel necessarily out of character.
Right.
It just feels like when you write a story and you say, this person is either going to someday punch somebody in the face like their father did, or maybe not. Eventually you're going to get to the point where that character has to make the decision to punch somebody in the face or not. If they choose not to, then they defy what basically their father and their lineage did. If they punch somebody in the face, then they are their father and their lineage. And that was the choice of where this was going to go. I thought really it was going to be surprising and she wasn't going to do it. It ended up being actually more surprising that she did. But what I will say is everybody's blaming the D&D, Benioff and Weiss, but I guarantee you that they sat down and said, at least tell us, George R. Martin, does she burn King's Landing? How does this end? You know what I mean? And he said, this is how it ends. And this, honestly, this ending feels with kind of how masochistic the show has always been. You know?
I want to say two things, because her burning the city, like when she paused on the wall, that did it surprised you? Did it surprise you?
Yeah, they rang the bells.
It didn't so much surprise me. I was just like, it's disappointing that they're going to make this character. That's what my initial feeling is, that it's disappointing that they're going to make this character that seems so rational, seems so true in who she was and what she is, make this choice. Yeah, that was my initial but when I stepped back and I realized, no, it makes more sense dramatically to make this character do this. I was like, okay, because I knew the minute old boy at the top, bald cat,
Varys,
when he gets burnt up at the beginning of this, I knew immediately then that's where they were going to take him. Yeah, because the last thing he says to Tyrion is, "Yo, man, I hope I'm fucking wrong about this."
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. And he had been playing that card the last few episodes.
Yeah. Well, that's another example of a character who, like, the entire run of all these seasons has been the smartest cat in the room. Has been 2, 3, 4 steps ahead,
and then suddenly
is like finds himself caught in like can't
in this most basic way.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
because it almost like he had resigned himself to that. He was like the fact that he was so openly talking about treason with Tyrion in the fucking palace.
Yeah,
I was like that.
Well, the same thing with Tyrion. Like, he's so smart. He should have known that if he went in and told Varys this information, where it would lead.
Right.
Tyrion in previous seasons has been smart enough to understand what his actions will do, and he did not seem to know what this would cause by telling him all this.
Not to pile on, but even the fact where like Jon Snow comes to, I'm going to tell you a secret, but you got to promise me not to tell anybody. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, come on, Jon.
The first thing Sansa did was like, I ain't gonna tell nobody.
Yeah.
Tyrion,
yeah, exactly. Come on.
What?
I want to read Sean, our resident Game of Thrones expert, Sean Kellaway's
comments.
It's comments, but it's about Game of Thrones. Okay. We'll stay on Game of Thrones. It's all Game of Thrones for the most part. It said, this week, a meme circulated of the Game of Thrones series progression.
Is it the Monty Python one?
First season wasn't. This is a long email, by the way, so just bear with me. Laugh if you want, take a nap, or not. First season was an expertly drafted pencil drawing of a horse, which subsequently got worse until it finally ended with a stick figure line drawing worthy of Neckface.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I can't believe this tragedy. Watching it unfold looks like every modern story of virginity lost. A brutal ending to what was supposed to be a beautiful moment of life experience.
Wow.
How does one move on?
Wow. That eloquent bastard.
He took it hard. The last episode was a masterclass of opposite day. Every single character betrayed the previous 7 seasons of character development. Varys, master of secrets, has a secret, the world's biggest secret. Then he proceeds to climb to the. You're like that, Rob is swatting away bugs. You're like that moment in Tommy Boy, like there's all the moths. He's gonna get the vacuum in a second. I'm sorry, off tangent. The world's biggest secret that he then proceeds to climb to the top of the highest tower to tell every living person in the world. Seriously, thanks, Mr. Poole. We weren't ready to tell everyone about Valerie's death on Hogan's family, but I guess that is over now.
Wow, that's a deep cut, you nerd. Wow,
I didn't even get it.
From Hogan's. Wait, say it again.
Okay, so thanks, Mrs. Poole. We weren't ready to tell everyone about Valerie's death on Hogan's family, but I guess that it's over
Hogan's
now.
Family, the sitcom from like this. Was it the 70s?
Jesus,
Like early
I don't know.
Yeah, Hogan's Family.
I know.
Okay.
I recognize the name.
It's a deep nerd cut. Is what that shit is.
John, stalwart moral code carrier of his ancestors, Snow, walked around like a kicked, love-drunk puppy, internalizing, screaming the entire episode. Quote, "Someone please help me. I was stabbed 7 times, got brought back to life, fucked my aunt, and will now never get an erection again."
Yeah, basically.
What is his dog when he needs him most? Where is his dog when he needs him most? F you, Jon Snow. You are nothing. He goes on to Tyrion. Tyrion, master strategist, philosopher, and debaucherous ladies' man, Lannister had been reduced to a fool. Literally, a dwarf wearing a jester's costume. I'm surprised that he wasn't given 14 seconds to juggle in this episode. This is an insult to the character and Peter Dinklage's masterful portrayal of the most interesting character on the show. I agree. I agree with that sentiment, for sure. Most interesting character in the show, Peter Dinklage.
I think he's just the most talented character on the show. Actor on the show, thusly making the character better. But as far as like character-wise, the character is basic.
Yeah. Arya, a girl of 9, compelled to train and become one of Westeros's most dangerous assassins, is reduced to a frightened girl of 17 who tries and fails literally everyone to save them from the carnage of a burning city.
Yep.
The girl woke up twice from concussions and worse to keep moving. How many times are you going to fade to black before the credits? Peter Jackson.
Yep.
In the effing movie, you nuts.
He's not wrong.
Jaime and Cersei Lannister bested by falling rocks. Effing falling rocks.
See, I don't think they're done. I think I think that's a red herring. I don't think they if you don't actually see those motherfuckers crush, if you just see the falling rock debris and you don't see no body, guaranteed you're gonna see him again.
Remind me of Grey Worm's interview here, because he has an interesting to say.
Does he?
Yeah, I have an interview with him at the end here.
Okay.
Bested by falling rocks. 2 main characters died by falling rocks in a monumentous failure of scripted drama. Can I get an Avengers Endgame rat to trigger a return from the Quantum Zone, please?
Good. Well, way to keep it topical. Yeah, he's good.
He's good. He's good. He's good. Sometimes there are no words, and that's all I have to say about that. Meant to be a Forrest Gump reference, but may have been butchering the quote. I don't get the Forrest Gump reference, but maybe you're right. That's all I'll say about that. Like, that's the thing that Forrest would say. Oh, right. There you go. This failure is all but complete. Who cares what happens next week? Really? I'm expecting Spock, Peter Quill, and Alf to walk into frame naked.
Alf. That's another deep cut. Yo! Keep going. I'm sorry.
While making fart noises with their armpits and doing the Thriller dance. Then Daenerys removes the knife from her temple to fight Ajax for one last lady love, Princess Buttercup. Right before the helicarrier blows up. That is by far better than anything this last episode could put together. Why? Why, you ask? Because Game of Thrones 2 showrunners moved on last year to make a Star Wars movie. Because this is coming out 2022. Well, at least begin pre-production. HBO was faced with an impossible decision. Replace them or let them run out their contracts and end the show. This is the entertainment machine running something great for professional pride and advancement. A tragedy for sure, but not unprecedented. After all, it is only the fans who pay the price, both literal and figuratively. Yes, prediction, but we'll chill there.
Yeah, all right, okay. I agree with most of that. Most of it. He's very eloquent and passionate, obviously, and I agree with most of it. But like I was saying to you earlier, I don't know why people are so surprised, because I disagree with this being that great. The production values, yes. The shininess of it, yes. But at its core, this was mediocre fantasy at best. And basically, I feel like the fans are getting the chickens coming home to roost at this point.
I think I think it did best when it was still working with material that were in the actual books.
Yeah, you're right. But it suffered. It suffered from a lot of things, not just this rushed, to finish it. It suffered from a lot of things before this. It suffered from its overglorification and basically, I don't know. For me, I always felt a ways about the women in this show. I'm like, as a woman, I don't understand how women can get down on the show because it's not for them.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not a show for women.
Color.
Or people of color. Like that cuts out a giant swath of interest. So like I'm like, who's watching this? Who is really getting down and geeking on this? Because if I was a woman, I'd be like, yo, man,
a lot of people.
This show.
18.5 million for this episode alone.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with I think there's a lot of people who are coming to it late now based on there's a lot of people on my feed who are like watching Game of Thrones for the first time. And I'm seeing their reactions to it, and they're like, I don't see the appeal. I never did. As I'm watching it now, I feel like, told you so. That's how I feel. I'm sitting back watching it, and I'm like, shit, told you so.
So the actor who plays Grey Worm, his name is Jacob Anderson. He was asked by Huffington Post this question. Natalie, who plays Melisandre, has talked about the fan response to Melisandre's death and how some people were upset to see the show's only woman of color taken away and in chains, no less. Again, you and Natalie, or Nathalie, have talked about representation on the show. Did you guys anticipate that agitated reaction from fans?
Wait, both the colored actors on the show talked about representation on the show?
Yeah.
And no response?
What do you mean no response?
No response as in like the showrunners, the people who were making decisions didn't listen and take their...
It doesn't say one way or the other.
Oh, okay.
Again, I mean, this is probably the problem. If you're in uncharted territory and you have this guy who wrote these books back in the 90s and he's working on these new books that were supposed to have come out like years ago but have not come out yet, and you say, George R.R. Martin, how do these stories end? What happens to Grey Worm? What happens to these characters? And he says, well, this is, I can't give you the books, but I can tell you what happens. She burns King's Landing. Melisandre dies. If he gives them sort of the footnotes, they have to write the story around that. You know what I mean? It's a good question. Do they?
Because The Walking Dead has departed from the books well into their seasons, and they're I think at 9 now.
That's a good point.
So they have one season more than Game of Thrones has, and they've departed from the books, and to much acclaim, they've been basically had the same characters but telling vastly better stories than maybe the books had been or whatever.
I mean that's a larger question. I want to go back to Jacob Anderson's response to this in a second, but that's a larger question. Like if George R.R. Martin has written these books and is writing these books, and let's say that, like, just for example, Arya kills the Night King, which is what happened. If we get to the books and that's not what actually happens in the books at all, then suddenly it'll make the show look really much worse and stupid. I agree. But if we get to that point and that is what happens, then it's like, well, they did the best they could with what they had. This is how he ended it. What do you think? Do you think this is how George R.R. Martin's going to end it? Do you have faith in this bearded white dude with glasses?
No, because I think George R.R. Martin won. I think I don't know the man, but I think based on how he writes the women in his shows, I don't think he's a fan of women.
Yeah, well,
that's me.
Yeah,
that's me, Rob Robinson. Not having read a line of his books, but just based on how, like, the women that I've seen the show kind of show us, and at least in those early ones, they're based on his work. I don't think he likes women real tough.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I gotta be down for them. I gotta be an ally in that fight for them. But I just these shows never really dug me. They always rub me the wrong way.
Yeah,
especially if you call them this fantasy and there's no people who represented that look like me, or the ones that do look like me are all chained and serving as like cannon fodder for their clearly beautiful, statuesque white. You know, like you ain't gonna sell me on a fantasy like that.
Yeah. So he says in response to did he anticipate or did she anticipate the agitated reaction from fans? He says, yeah. To be honest, yeah, we were. But I think the way Natalie played it, she played it with some real control and dignity. I think Natalie did a beautiful job making that about something, you know. There's a few moments that I think, like the collar moment in episode 5, Grey Worm throwing the collar into the fire, that was like, that's not what she was to him. That's not what she represented. And she didn't represent slavery and chains. Even if it was true that she kept that to remember her past, I think he rejects that idea. The next question is, in one word, how would you describe the series finale? He says, okay, it's hard to answer, but I think surprising or unexpected.
I think that's him being kind. I think all of them, I think every single one of these actors knew what this last season was.
Yeah.
And I think that 3-minute video, despite the lack of context, is mad telling.
Mad revealing, yeah.
I mean, that first one, which she basically asked, what's her old girl who plays Danny, flat out, and context be damned, like, hey, what do you think? And her reaction is like, and you could, she's being flanked on either side by those other actors, and you can see them jump in to sort of like, it's great, it's lovely. Like, you could see them go into damage control because old girl is not feeling it.
What's her name? Amelia Clark. That was another thing I watched for about 45 minutes, very tired one night, was Terminator Genesis.
Is that her?
That's her. And she's really bad in it. She's really bad in it.
That is her, yes.
And that movie's terrible.
Well, the movie's terrible, so it's not her fault.
No, well,
I don't think it's her fault. I think she's bad in it because she was given bad direction and bad writing and bad. What do you want to stop at the
things? Yeah.
Because there actually are moments in the show. There are points in the show where she doesn't have she doesn't say anything. It's just them shooting her face, and some of those, like the reaction to Masunday's head getting chopped off is about like a 15-second just shot of her face where she's saying nothing, and she backs away from the camera before turning, and I'm like, damn. Yeah, I know everything she just went through watching her friend's head roll down that parapet right there.
Yeah.
So, in that way, I can't fault her. Actually, the standouts for me in this episode weren't Danny, because like I said, once I kind of stepped back and kind of looked at this, I was like, to be expected, and actually not a bad choice for that character. But the standouts for me were, which I found against myself rooting for, was my man the Hound.
Yeah, did you like that fight? That was
I did. I liked that fight, but at the same time, I was like, ain't nobody gonna fight a zombie?
Yeah,
you chop his fucking head off. You want to stop him? Chop his fucking head off.
Yeah. It seemed a bit like go for the head.
Yeah, like that was the whole fight. I was like, bro, why are you stabbing him in the body? You know he's a dead man. Either stab him through the fucking brain or chop his fucking head off.
In his defense, he doesn't know exactly what's wrong with his brother in that way.
He knows he's a zombie.
He knows that his brother's not right. He knows something's. He doesn't. But
he doesn't know he's dead and brought back to life.
If you think about it, the Hound has fought the dead.
I never seen it.
No, the Hound has fought the dead in episode 3.
And you chop their fucking heads off, and they fall down.
Yeah, I mean,
even the little girl knew that. Even when she was being squeezed to death by a giant, she was like, stab him in the fucking eye.
Yeah, anything you chop, it's head out. Yeah, Liana.
It dies.
Or Liana Mormont. Yeah,
he kept attacking the body. I couldn't make. I was like, yo, this man is a seasoned warrior, and you're gonna have him fight. And maybe the argument is like it's his brother. He didn't want to take his brother out in that way, or maybe he wants his brother to kill him.
No, it just wasn't It wasn't even a well choreographed fight.
You don't think so?
Not really.
Okay.
I liked the moment at the end where they both fall off into the fire, kind of still fighting on their way down. but I didn't really think the fight itself was particularly well choreographed.
Okay.
It was just a lot of like, oh, we're gonna fight.
We're gonna tussle in this doorway kind
of thing. Yeah,
fair.
It was
fair.
okay.
All right. Best moment in the episode and shittiest moment in the episode for you. Like you were like, oh, that was actually redeemable, or that was a complete shit show.
I mean, the best moment is right before they're about to fight, and he's going to basically fight him. Cersei kind of leaves, and then the dragon flies up through that kind of broken ceiling, and then the fight starts. That was an awesome
sort of
scene.
like
There's like fire.
The bell.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That was an awesome little like image.
All right, shittiest moment.
Shittiest moment, probably. I mean, it depends. Shittiest in the sense
to you, and whatever that means to you, whatever that means. Shittiest moment to whatever to Larry. What does that mean to you?
I think it's definitely when Jamie like is walking towards the beach trying to find like the secret entrance, and then Euron Greyjoy is just like, "Hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
I can be. I'll make you famous."
That's exactly mine too.
I'll be famous if I kill the.
What he said is basically the two things he said is,
what do you guys
"I'm a
want me to
king
say?"
and I fuck the queen. I was like, really?
What's my motivation here? I want to kill this guy now. Why? Why?
I fucked the queen. Like. It was complete. And then that fight, I was like, yo, either Jaime Lannister is like the Bionic Man, or he has 14 lungs.
Yeah, because basically he was stabbed in the lung,
mortally wounded twice, and still manages to find a secret entrance and find his sister in the catacombs.
A lot of Game of Thrones is about sort of like, you want there to be this happy thing. You want Jaime.
Do you?
In previous scenes, like he's basically, Brienne, the girl that he leaves, like he stops these guys from raping her.
Yeah.
And they chop off his hand, right? So you already know that he's the bad guy, and he pushed Bran out of a window and basically and fucks his sister. But there's this redemption coming, and he defends her. And you're like, okay, great. And all of a sudden he gets his arm chopped off. That's what Game of Thrones is. So it's not like
people getting their comeuppance. Because it sounds like Jaime was a bastard, and everything that he got, he probably deserved.
No, I wouldn't say it's not about... I would say Game of Thrones is not about comeuppance. Game of Thrones is about saying, we know what you want, and you want there to be this good, happy thing. But that's not what this is. We're going to chop his hand off here.
See, I guess
he tried to be a hero, but guess what? He's still getting his fucking hand shot off.
So you're saying that people watch the show because they like the thrill of maybe this happy thing happened, but knowing that this awful shit is in the works? Because
I think people watch the show for these 7 seasons leading into this 8th season, hoping that the show would lead to a moment that would suddenly defy its own character. But the show's character is Dany burning King's Landing,
and that's what I'm saying. I think they did that.
Yeah, and they did, and it's unsatisfying and doesn't make you feel good about her character, but it's very in character for the show.
It actually makes me like her character more. When I said, and I stepped back and I looked at it, like it was basically what I said, that this character would have the furthest arc to go. When I first started that first season, I was like, and I know you said that Tyrion is the most interesting character on the show, and I disagree.
He used to be.
I always thought it was going to be Dany's, because I was like, the journey of this kind of like nebbish, reserved, I don't know what I am, sort of like forced to it by her brother kind of thing. I was like, her arc in this story is going to be the most incredible, because she gets dragons.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. Her story, and like I said on the show, and Jon Snow's story were the two most interesting characters for me going forward. I was like, I'm really kind of interested to see what the show is going to do with these characters. And to be honest, I feel like the payoff for me is that I didn't invest in the show. I invested in a character arc,
right?
And that character arc for me seems to be paying off, because
she was only going to do one of two things: either she was going to burn King's Landing,
which I didn't have any idea of. I didn't know any of that going forward. All I knew is that by the time that we saw this character, by the end of her journey, she was going to be the most changed of anybody in this cast.
So basically, we're in like predictions land, and by the time anyone listens to this, because by the time I edit it, it will be after I've seen the final episode.
Mm-hmm.
But my personal prediction is that she dies, and then Jon Snow dies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I predict the same thing. I think that Arya will end up sitting on the Iron Throne.
Yeah, Arya or Sansa will be on the throne.
I think Sansa will rule the North. I think Arya will sit on the throne, and I think Tyrion will be her advisor.
Yeah, something like that.
Something to that effect.
Yeah, because the
broad strokes.
Yeah, we can't have a happy ending.
No.
There's no happy ending.
I think you will see a scene between Jaime and Cersei before it wraps. I think they both end up dying, but I think you see a goodbye, some sort of.
How?
So I don't think they died in that cave-in. I think
they were crushed.
I think he might be crushed. I think he might have saved her and
I see
used
what you're
him
saying.
like the crutch being like I did all right, whatever the fuck, and then she basically stays and dies with him, kind of thing. But yeah, and I may be wrong, but I don't think those.
Even
I don't
her
think that character is
was
dead.
Disappointing at the end.
Completely.
She just sat there and like watched her
completely just like. I was like, this woman is a mastermind plot. You didn't think you like when she see the first thing I feel like that Cersei would have done, and like I said, I didn't watch the show, would have been like as soon as that dragon was like, oh, when she's like, well, informed that whatchamacallit fleet, and old dude was like, my lady, the motherfuckers are on fire.
Yeah.
All right, time to go. Blip, blip, blip. Pack it up. Let's break it down. The minute that would have happened, she'd have been out of there. She's like, no. No one's ever taken this siege, or like, no one's ever taken this keep, and da. I was like, this is stupid.
Oh, and let's even talk about how, like, the dragon is suddenly, like, invincible to all those spears.
OP. Like, they can't put they can't seem to line it up one time.
No.
But it was smart. I like how, like, there's a scene where, I thought that was pretty dope. It was the one time I was like, that's cool.
Which part?
Where she planned it so, like, she takes the plan of attack was to dive from the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, the fuck? Is that
That's it.
And by the time he was like, that's a dragon.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
But
That's
so
genius.
why didn't you just do some version of that when they killed your last dragon?
Well,
it's just everything is so manipulated. The plot is so manipulated in this.
You know what's funny? You remember how mad you were about that dragon dying, and then we started to argue about like the physics of it.
Yeah,
somebody
does.
So some nerds actually did the physics, and
I know that's what I'm trying to tell you. The physics are there. They didn't make any sense.
I'm just saying you're right, bro.
Thank you,
I'm just conceding that you were right.
Right.
It was not logical.
That's why
that they
do
could
this.
shoot that dragon and kill it like that.
That's why we do this.
So.
Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, yeah. Game of fucking Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones. There are swords and things doing lightning tricks, and they'll take you out if you try to beat them. They'll kill you and stop you and make you Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, fucking Game of Thrones.
So that's it. Any other comments this week?
I'm your host, Lawrence Dial.
And I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson.
We have a Patreon account. It's patreon.com/whatweinto. We have a $1 thing on there. You can throw us $1.
Throw us $1.
We also... There's also this thing on iTunes. You can subscribe to us and leave a comment, and we will read it.
But we are on a bunch of different platforms. Did you mention those?
We're on a lot of them,
the major ones: iTunes, Spotify,
It's late.
YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook,
Spreaker, whatever that is.
Basically, if you like what you hear, throw us in the Google, and Google will point you to some way of listening to us and helping us. Not have to do this at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You can also be like our buddy Sean Calloway, and you can send us an email.
Yeah.
And we'll read a good chunk of it, as we clearly did.
Definitely shoot us an email.
You can be a part of this whole thing if you want or not. You can pay us money to not include you.
Yeah. Or, didn't we have a portion where we were trying to get people to pay us to go on a Bigfoot hunting
with Jose
trip
Canseco, of course. That's still open.
Canseco.
That's still open.
Help us hunt Bigfoot with Jose Canseco, guys.
Or maybe you want us to do something else that's humiliating and weird.
Hey,
we'll do it if you pay for it.
I don't think hunting Bigfoot with Jose Canseco is either humiliating or weird.
No,
that's prestigious.
I just mean if you think of something that's embarrassing and you want to give us money for it, we'll do it.
Oh, or if you have a suggestion for something we should talk about, review,
yeah.
hit us
Not
up.
Not hard at all. whatweinto@gmail.com, what we into on Facebook, what we into podcast on Instagram, dial_Lawrence on Twitter. That's me. Who are you?
I'm Rob Carmen Robinson at shinebrighter@gmail.com.
2:45 in the morning.
Hit me up, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Next week. I don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Maybe we'll do Willow. We meant to do Willow this week.
It just
we're too tired. It's tired, you guys. We worked. We had to work for a living.
All right, my dude. Well, we should probably get you a car.
Just give me a car. Give me a car.
Peace.
Peace.
Don't sing if you want to live long. They have no use for your song. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world. You'll never get a second chance. Plan all your moves in advance. Stay dead, stay dead, stay dead, stay dead and out of this world. Run fast, don't stand in the sun. There's too much work to be done. You're down, you're down, you're down, you're down and out of this world. Don't ever talk with your eyes. Be sure that you compromise. You're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead and out of this world. Hear the unloved weeping like rain. Guard your sleep from the sound of their pain. Long gone, long gone, long gone, long gone and out of this world. When you smile and it tears your face, it's time for the inhuman race. You're down, you're down, you're down, you're down and out of this world. Now your hope and compassion is gone. You've sold out your dream to the world. Stay dead, stay dead, stay dead. You're dead and out of this world.